Hello StarCraft fans, this is day 3 of ASL Season 16. Hope you like Zerg games because look at that lineup, we've got 3 of them and a single Protoss. Let's get into our interviews.
And this is ASL Season 14 Round of 16 Group C, and that is Antony Hyun. Last week we have watched all those cool games from those 2 player from Light versus Shine, and we have seen Light made it into round of 8 and Shine also made it into round of 8 as well. And also Group B, we're also one of the death group that we got to see some great games of those 4 player Bisu, Rush, Best, and there's one more I cannot remember. And we're excited to see another nice matchup today. That is going to be Soma, Snow, Queen, and Soulkey. How are you guys doing today? And during the group nomination, you were saying that you do not want to play ZBZ. It became somewhat different than what you were expected. And how do you feel about today's game? And are you having the same feeling at the same time during the group nomination? And Soma says he kind of wants to avoid ZBZ. He does not like about the group. He feels somewhat nervous about playing today's match. But then since you still have made it into the seeded player, you should be feeling very confident to play against these players who did not make it into seeded player list. Soma thinks that he cannot let his guard down. He needs to prepare a lot for this round of 16 and play better. And how are you doing, Snow? You said during the group nomination, you said you wanted to have, you always kind of wanted to avoid playing PvZ in the previous season, but you said you kind of want to try out and challenge yourself that you want to play in the death group of 3 Zerg in your group. And how do you feel? And Snow is saying that he has prepared. He kind of wants to have a great result. That's his goal. He wants to have some nice result out of this round of 16 group. And we know it is going to be PvZ most likely for you, but your first opponent that you'll be facing, that is going to be Soma. How do you feel playing against Soma today? Soma is one of the top Zerg player, and everyone knows about it too. Soma is definitely a strong player, but Snow has prepared a lot of this best of 1 series against Soma, so he wants to win. So you are saying you can beat Soma in best of 1 series only? And Snow says no, he also has a very strong confidence to play against Soma in best of 3, best of 5 series.
박상현 선수와 굉장히 자신감이 넘치는 장윤철 선수인데, 자 그렇다면 두 번째 경기를 앞두고 있는 두 저그 선수와도 이야기를 나눠보겠습니다. 김명훈 선수 안녕하세요.
2 players are waiting for the second match. Queen and Soulkey. Queen, how are you doing?
조가 만들어졌습니다.
And
전반적인 구성.
the group nomination.
김명훈 선수의 만족도는 어떠신가요?
Are you satisfied with the group?
만족하는 편인데.
Queen is somewhat satisfied with the group, but he thinks that Soma and Soulkey are not happy with the group design, how it has been selecting during the group nomination. You are going to be playing against Soulkey. And who is going to be having some tough time making out of this round of 16? So Queen is saying that he will be taking down Soulkey in the best of 1 series, and he kind of wants Snow to win against Soma. So in the winners bracket, Queen wants to play against Snow.
너는 1등으로 올라가면 좋겠다고 막 자꾸 약 올리더라고요.
So Snow is saying that.
영환이 형이라고 막 부럽다고.
So Queen was pretty much teasing Snow that he kind of wants Snow to make it into round of 8 as a first player. But he kind of doesn't want to believe it. He's pretty much teasing Snow there before this pre-interview. And there's also one more person waiting for the interview. Soulkey, how are you doing? You say you don't want to play ZBZ. You don't like ZBZ.
연습을 하면서는 김명훈에게 좋은 복수를 할 수 있는 기회다라는 생각 혹시 안 드셨나요?
근데 충분히 그런 생각했고요. 네.
Did you have some thought or change your mind after you prepare for this round of 16?
다들 떨어질 줄 알았었거든요. 근데도 뚫었었거든요.
네.
So in the previous season, he kind of had a group in somewhere that he did not like about, but he did make it out of there and made it into round of 8 previous season. So kind of wants to show to the audience and also prove to the players right next to him that he can make it into round of 8.
대화를 해보면 항상 저는 모든 걸 다 오픈하거든요. 숨겨요 항상.
So Soulkey is saying about Queen. Queen, whenever Queen has a question about StarCraft, like in terms of knowledge or game sense or the mechanism of the game, and Soulkey is pretty much open-minded. He kind of share his thought and whatever he knows much better than Queen. But whenever Soulkey is asking Queen about something about the game knowledge, then he doesn't really tell him anymore much. So maybe that could be the reason why Soulkey has always been getting taken down by Queen. And there's also a question to Soma. Will you be choosing the same player if you go back to that group nomination? If you take the time machine? And he says no. He will be choosing a different player.
조지명식이 굉장히 마음에 안 들었던 게
So
이재호
Snow is saying
너무 갑의 위치에 있더라고요. 그래가지고 전
he kind of does not. He didn't really like about Light being. Light was being so tough guy that he has the power of swapping the player at the end of the group nomination. So he wasn't happy about it.
그렇게 돼가지고 너무 아쉽네요.
He wanted some of the players being switched around with his group, but it did not work out.
극복해낼 수 있을지도 기대하도록 하겠고요. 김명훈 선수, 김민철 선수 두 선수에게 남겨주신 질문입니다.
Question to
양 선수가
Soulkey
맞대결
and
앞두고
Queen.
저그 전에 일가견이 있는
You guys have been playing. You guys have played ZVZ multiple games and also share some knowledge of the ZVZ. Probably share some thought as well.
네, 제가 일부러 계속 김윤환을 언급하면서 민철이가 김윤환 씨를 좀 찹게 유도를 했거든요. 근데 안
So
넘어갔더라고요.
the question is, did you find a solution for
김민철
playing
선수에 대한
ZVZ?
질문인데요. 사실 네임밸류로는 항상 우승권을 다투는 김민철 선수인데
So Soulkey,
대회에서 김민철 선수
you're
풀리지
the one of the player. A lot of audience are expecting you to win the ASL champ title, but you did not make it into semi-final most of the time. And what could be the reason behind it?
이게 의문이더라고요. 항상
So Soulkey is questioning about himself as well, why it's not working out well for him, even though he has very good mechanics and a very good mindset with the strategy-wise. But things are not working out well for during the tournaments. But he still thinks he will be easily make it into round of 8 and play well in the round of 16, whatever he has prepared.
선수에게 좀 여쭤보고 싶네요. 현재
There's also
폼을
a question
기준으로 했을
to
때
Snow.
저그 선수들의 서열은 어떤 것 같은지 질문을 해주셨는데
So he
연습을 통해서
the
어느
question
정도
is for
세별의
Snow.
저그 선수들
Can you
사이를 분석하셨을 거기
rank the
때문에
Zerg player
가장
1
까다로운
to
선수를
3
순서대로 좀 말씀해 주신다면
of your group?
어떤 선수들이 될까요?
이렇게 옆에 놔두고 얘기하라고요?
And Snow is
그럼 딱
about to
한 분만
answer.
말씀하신다면 제일 까다로운 선수
Somewhat
어떤 적응인가요?
Nervous to
선수가 잘하는 것 같아요.
say about to answer the question, but he will be saying Soma is the best out of these three Zergs, Soma, Queen, Soulkey. He does not want to rank the other second and the third.
네, 오늘 좀 그래도 편안하게
Any last word before we go into the game? And Soulkey,
감사합니다.
네,
and
김명훈 선수도
he prepared a lot, so he's gonna be comfortably making it to round of 8
민철이나 뭐
and show some great results.
안 좋아하게 됐는데 저랑 같이 한 명 더 꼭
So
올라갔으면
Queen is saying about the group nomination that Soma and Soulkey did not like about the group when he made this group to turn out to be 3 Zerg and 1 Protoss. So
저는 이제 올라간다는
he's just gonna be somewhat nervous playing against them, but he will try his best.
자, 마지막으로
Snow,
박상현 선수의
he'll
각오를 들어보겠습니다.
try out his best and challenge himself that making out of this group of this 3 Zerg and 1 Protoss. And Soma,
네, 내분의 멋진
he
경기력
will be showing some great
기대하겠습니다. 인터뷰
performance and making
고맙습니다.
it to round of 8. And thank you for the interview.
자, 나의 레벨은 다르다. 어나더 레벨 하식스와 함께하는
And
ASL
I've been
시즌14
thinking about Snow's PVZ all week, man, because you're telling me that you think we may see Reavers, and generally in the past that means it's going to be Sarah Reaver, but I was thinking about any other time I've seen Reaver. It was a really long time ago where Shuttle was using like a mass army comboed with Shuttles and Reavers to bust a Zerg taking 4 bases off of very little actual defense. So I'm looking quite forward to the games of Soma versus Snow, and that's going to be our first matchup.
Yeah, well, I wonder if Snow is going to be sticking with his new trendy build where he uses a Reaver build against a Zerg, but he said that he's very confident to play against these 3 Zerg and also have some very strong confidence to take down Soma in the best of 1, and even if he gets to play him once again, maybe in the decider match or somewhere else, he still has a very strong confidence to play in best of 3 as well. And I wonder if Soulkey has improved in terms of his ZVZ. I mean, he's very good at playing Zerg versus Terran matchup and Zerg versus Protoss matchup, but often he gets some difficulty playing in ZVZ matchup. And also, one of the games that I can remember of his game would be Proxy Hatchery at the 3 o'clock or somewhere, and then doing the Zergling Rush against Queen. I don't know if you recall that.
Yeah, I do remember that. I think it was just a couple seasons ago, actually, so it's somewhat recent. Yeah, so I also am curious how Soulkey's ZVZ is gonna stand up to Queen's. Queen sounds confident as usual. He sounded like this group's no big deal. We know he's great in ZVZ, and we know Soulkey kind of falters in ZVZ. In fact, you know, he's the one person that went up versus Donovick this season, and they had a crazy game. Soulkey had a massive lead, and Donovick made that crazy comeback. And if you make a big mistake like that versus Queen, for sure he's going to turn the game around. So he cannot afford to make mistakes like that. Otherwise, Soulkey will definitely lose.
And here's the round of 16 Group C. The key point of this round of 16 that will be Protoss Snow. He's one of the top 3 Protoss player, and will he be able to make it out of this group stage in the round of 16? And also Queen, he recently came back and started to play compete in the competitive scene, and also the strongest Zerg out of this ASL career, and will he be going up into round of 8? And also the Soulkey is one of the player who's not very confident in terms of ZVZ. Will he be surviving and making it into round of 8?
Yeah, Soulkey's a really strong Zerg. It feels like he should go farther in the tournament every single season than he actually does. And he even pointed it out. I think once he can get ZVZ down, like his Zerg versus Terran's crazy. I've talked about it multiple times this season. His game versus Mong last season on Vermeer was absolutely nuts. He's just an impeccable ZVP player and ZVP player. So if he can face off versus Snow, I think he's got a really good shot making it out. Now we're looking at our first player, his stats. Soma, his best matchup is versus Protoss. 65% win rate. That's pretty nuts.
I remember a couple seasons ago, the Soma had the most win rate, the highest win rate in the PP Zerg versus Protoss matchup. But I guess somewhere in the previous season he got knocked out. Oh yeah, I guess those best of 5 series and best of 7 series against Bisu and Rain probably ruined his Zerg versus Protoss matchup record. And we were also taking a look at Snow's record, 16 wins and 27 losses.
Yeah, and for a lot of Protoss players, this is generally their worst matchup, so not really a shocker there. And we, of course, know that Snow is an absolute expert with the Reaver, and that usually comes more into play versus Protoss and versus Terran. And you've been talking about the Reaver play all week, so I really want to see it. Our first map, what is it going to be? Is it always set the same? I can't remember.
Vermeer.
It's Vermeer. Okay, so we've got a big map. I mean, I talked about it previously, where the only other times where I saw it was when players split the map larva style, went into 4 bases with a lot of hatches very defensively. I mean, Reavers can bust that, so I think we could see it if Soma goes for that. Players are ready. let's get into game 1. It's Soma versus Snow on Bermuda. Okay, in the top right, our red Zerg, it is none other than Soma. And in the top left, we have our blue Protoss Hope. Trying to make it out of this Zerg death group, it is Snow.
And this one of the spawning location that something reminds me would be Snow versus Gamo. And Gamo was pretty much doing the lurker contain against Snow, and Snow had some big time trouble busting it out. And I wonder if Snow has fixed his mistake and played better here. And we can also take a look at this ASL match history of these two players. Snow versus Soma. 3-0. Soma is leading. And look at those Bosford students are rooting for Soma, and also Snow's school, Suna University. Also, those Prada students are here and rooting for Snow here.
A lot of school support, because I remember seeing the Bosford fans last week. And we do have a gateway expand from Snow, so he's looking to put down the pressure onto Soma, and Soma's going to start us off with an overpool, and that is going to be gas instantly from him. I mean, that's extremely fast gas if he takes that.
And here is some other fans are rooting for Snow, and this is something maybe Soma has prepared. I guess he wants to show something different than usual, starting off with the overpull with the gas start. And now Snow needs to make some decision here. He's counting how many drones there are, and also how many larvas are remaining for the Zergling. And he might think something being weird here, because most of the larvae has been used for drone, and there's not much of a larva remaining to make some Zergling. Only 2 links starts, and Soma, what will he be doing?
Yeah, because Soma doesn't have a read on what Snow's opener is, and he goes straight into speed. I was wondering what he was going to do, because, you're blind here, right? If this guy doesn't go Zealot, you're going speed into, cannons that are probably likely set up, but this is going to be a good opener for him, because it keeps the Zealot back. It forces a cannon before the Nexus, and Soma has pulled off of gas, so he's not continuing to mine that. Of course, Snow doesn't know that, I don't think. I think the probe got pushed out too quickly, but there's that forge already done. Cannon's going to come up pretty soon, and Zealot is going to clog up that top side, make sure nothing gets in.
Yeah, nice SimCity ups for Snow to defend against the Zergling scout here. And now we have to see whether Soma will be making more Zergling here, or drone production here to go for 3 hatchery. And finally there's a Nexus being warped. More drones are coming out. I guess Soma is just going to be making only 6 Zergling maximum, and pretty much cutting off that scouting probe as much as possible.
Yeah, such a big deal to keep the probe back, because Zerg could be doing anything. And we see that the 3rd hatch is going in the main. We don't see Hydra Den or anything like that, but definitely Soma's a player who has that in his arsenal. So this is a really good play from Soma, and he shows speed completes. So now Snow has to respect that there could have been mass slings being built behind it, could be Hydras being built behind it. This is already definitely thrown off Snow's initial opener.
I might remember what this playstyle is. I have seen this playstyle somewhere in KSL or previous season in the ASL, where Soma has gone for 3rd hatchery at the main base. I didn't even expect he would be putting down the 4th hatchery at the main, but yeah, there's some type of game that Soma has put down the 3rd hatchery at the main base in a 2-player map on an Overwatch, and I think that was Soma versus Best in KSL somewhere.
Well, I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen this before. This is 4 hatch, but he only has 2 base econ, and he opened with an overpool. So his supply was sitting at 18 out of 18. He's just now getting, is what, 2nd Overlord? and he already has 4 hatches put down on the map. Now, it has to be mass Hydra, right? Like, this can't be Lair. I can't imagine this ever being Lair. But this is really good lane control. He almost picks off a Zealot right there. But if you look at the defense of what Soma has, not much right now, but he has so much Larva, he should be able to pump out a few lings and take this down.
Yeah, five Zealots are just immediately pushing forward. I guess he wants to get some information whenever he's going for the trade here. And now Soma gets the he just got more Overlord coming out. Now here are the Zerglings are popping out, and Zealots are in a very good position here.
Yeah, that's a fantastic spot. That's exactly where he wants to be. And now he's getting into the back line, and there was no Hydras because Soma instead put down a 5th hatch at his 3rd base. He's going to have Mega Econ, big Larva production. But these Zealots have really done quite a bit of damage, knocking down a lot of lings. Forced colony, but it got canceled. But not really able to engage this with the Zealots in the back. And Goon gets produced, and he's going to be able to take down this Overlord. Stargate's already done. I think the Hydrogen went down in the main. You can see a building down there, but definitely no lair.
Yeah, I personally do not understand the build concept, what Soma really wants to do, and these 2 Zealots are just buying some time, and if the time is more given to Soma, these number of Zealots will just start to recover it with the shield, and Soma is just gonna be having some big time trouble here. And now the Coursers are out. Okay, picking up 1 drone.
Gets 1 drone, but now he's gonna probably lose the rest of his Zealots because there's just so many lings. And when the Corsair comes in here and sees how many hatches there are, I think he's gonna be surprised that this guy did not go lair at all, and he has already 5 hatches. Now he sees that there's no lair, so this is going to be panic mode for him. You're going to see him definitely go to his natural and start spamming out cannons because the Hydra count should be ramping up. But I take that back, actually. He puts down a pylon for more gateways, and I haven't seen a single cannon get put up just yet.
Yeah, just relying on a single cannon, as you mentioned. And if for Protoss perspective, whenever you see there's no lair tag for Zerg, then you kind of want to speed up and getting the setup Arjun and the Templar Archive as much as possible, because we know when the Coursers are out, Overlords cannot be standing at the front line and just checking out what exactly Snow is doing. So with this Corsair harassment and buying some time, he can just immediately rush for the Dark Templar build and slowly switch over to Mass High Templar as much as possible.
Well, this game has gone completely different than what I was expecting, because we've got the lair just now starting, the Hydra bust never came, the mass lings never came. I thought Snow was going to have to play defensively here, but actually he's been quite the aggressor this game. He's ramping up his gateway count, and if you're able to get your gateway count up, I think he could be able to go into that Reaver play as a follow-up, especially versus just mass Hydras, but maybe not. We do see isolated Overlords, but it's a single Sair, so it's not going to be able to get that many kills. And finally, Hydras start coming across the map, so just now cannons are going up. Well, that's double forge, you see that? So he's going to have double upgrades starting pretty soon.
Double upgrade versus Zerg, who is not going for the Lurker build whatsoever in the early stage of the game. So this is going to be a very good heavily upgrade for Snow. I kind of like about this strategy right now he's doing, and I still do not see the robotic facility is going up, because whenever with the Corsair sees there's a 3rd gas being up for Soma, that means Soma is rushing for the Lurker upgrade as soon as possible. And now here the Zealot speeds are moving up, but Zerglings are going to be missing out the route.
Oh, he did miss it, but somehow he knows that something's going on, because he comes back with his Hydras, syncs them up with the rest of his army. Sairs are going to kill maybe 1 Overlord, but this is not enough Zealot Goon to overwhelm this force. He's going to be pushed back. I mean, this is like 15 Hydras. You've got to be careful to engage that. So, good defense from Soma so far. I see more gateways being put down from Snow. That should put him at around 7 or 8. And he does have that double forge, so his upgrade's going to be pretty nuts. Uh-oh, but you got to spin that upgrade, man. And there's the Robo, but this is not a super fast Robo. This is pretty normal timing.
Yeah, this is a high ground territory or terrain that Zealots can buy some time there. And now Hydralists are slowly pushing forward. Soma, I wonder when exactly he will be getting the lurker out, because there's finally the robotic facility has gone up, and we know Snow, okay, yeah, Snow does have the one single Dark Templar. That single Dark Templar will need to buy some time.
Yeah, and I don't think actually there's an Overlord at the third base. You can see there's one outside of the third base giving a little bit of vision, but I don't think there is actually one at the third. Okay, there is, and he does have speed, but that DT did come back and get a few swipes on that Hydra. I think he even killed 2 of them, so already it's gotten pretty good value. We've got pretty similar supplies, 100 to 85. I mean, that's pretty darn good for Zerg. We've got the first couple lurkers coming out too, but the Robo is not that far behind. Now we're gonna have a big engagement here, and this time around a lot of zealots, so Soma's gonna actually be the one that's on the run.
Yeah, the number of zealots is just as much as a Hydra list to count. And yeah, Soma really needs to get those 4 lurkers so he can immediately start pushing forward and contain Snow as soon as possible. And these Corsairs are still doing some job and slowly pushing away the Overlord, and zealot count is still large enough, but now we can see Soma is syncing up the number of Hydralisks with the 4 lurkers. That's something that I was talking about, the 4 lurker contain that we have seen from the previous season versus Gemo, and now will Snow find a better solution here?
Oh my gosh, and he's gonna get all of his zealots cut off too, so he needs to bust out of this absolutely immediately, because if this lurker contain gets reinforced, there's gonna be almost no hope unless he can land tons and tons of devastating storms. You can see he's just now ramping up his goon production. I didn't actually get to see whether the cybernetics was spinning for range. I imagine it's probably done. Forge gets picked off, but +1 armor did complete, so he at least has that power spike for him. Now Snow may have found a vulnerability at the third base. Zealot, or DT, I mean, trying to get into the natural, and it might actually. These Zealots are all going to die to these Hydras, though.
Yeah, the lurker contain that we are seeing, like what's the word, deja vu once again. And now Snow, his goods can't just really move out. I mean, his natural base is just so narrow, and those lurkers and Hydralisks are just sitting and waiting in an arc, and there's lacking with the High Templar count. I mean, if the Side Storm energy only cost like 50 energy, then that would have been a different story, but 75 here, that will give him some tough time to break it through.
Yeah, and unlike other Protoss games where I've seen Protoss players build like 4 Templars and bank up the energy, for a long time Snow only had 1 or 2. So he does not have that many storms available, and this contain just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The DT tries to come in and it gets instantly spotted, so it almost gets picked off. There is still a lot of Zealots just running around the map, but I still just don't know how you engage this. This is a ton of Dragoons. Absolutely insane amount of goons. But the problem is how does he get out of this? The concave of Soma is just massive, and the choke is really small. Now that Templar has multiple storms. He needs to have perfect ones, though.
Yeah,
here we go.
Yeah, one group of Zealot is trying to go for the backstab here, but okay, he does use the Side Storm at the last second here, but now the number of Zealots are splitting in half and trying to do some damage. But there's a 1 lurker egg holding up the ramp nicely. Goons are slowly pushing forward. Protoss upgrade is definitely 1-1. 1-1 upgrade versus a +1 Hydra. It's a nice storm so far, but does he have enough Side Storm to break it through?
I think he does. I think he has way too many goons, and he's blanketing so many Hydras. The goons dishing out so much damage. Wow, he got through this so easily, in fact. I only saw like 3 storms, but they've been amazing. The goons are going to push this back because there's just simply too many. And the Zealot counterattack, look at the minimap scan. The Natural's not mining for Soma, so he doesn't even have big econ.
Wow, this powerful timing attack right now. Snow has, I guess Snow did improve how he needed to break it through, and now the lurker container is completely gone. So that means Soma is a big time triple. He did transfer the worker to start mining the natural expansion, but I don't see Soma has the 6th hatchery or 7th hatchery at the 4th base, and now the number of High Templars are start to use the Side Storm, merging into an Archon.
This is still just so many Dragoons from Snow. If he can get out 1 round of Zealots, that would really make his army very menacing. The high ground, I think, is saving Soma. In fact, if there's no high ground, I think Snow may have potentially pushed to victory. If the Lurkers are on the high ground and keep Protoss at bay, and behind this is going to take his third base.
A number of gun count is definitely beautiful, and I think he needs to make some more of a High Templar so he can save up some energy and slowly defend his third expansion, and also take the fourth expansion at the same time, because Snow's main base is going to be mined out in next 1 or 2 minutes, and now probably next 5 minutes or so the natural expansion also going to be mined out soon too. So if the game starts to become longer and long, then oh yeah, there's a +2 armor right now. Spectator is showing to us.
Yeah, huge power spike for Protoss, and you know, once he gets defense up at his third base, I think Snow could even just, you know, forget this high ground and loop around and just try and bring it to Soma's natural or third base. But he definitely needs to make sure the third base is secure, because if he loses their third base, as you said, the main's basically dry.
2 observers just got instantly sniped by the one group of Hydralisks, and they are definitely nice. The nice amount of High Templar to slowly push forward, but I guess he does not want to risk and break the high ground here, so he will be rotating to the bottom, which is the center, and that's an open route for him.
Yeah, I don't know about this move from Soma. I mean, it's a sneaky move, right? But instantly Snow moved in position. This is completely open natural in third base. If we've got a base trade scenario, I think Soma wins this. However, third base is compromised from Snow, but he's not burrowing any of the Lurkers. That's a Muta switch, but remember, this guy has so many Dragoons. Storm hits some of the Mutas too. There's an Archon mixed in. This natural is 100% dead. Look at supplies, almost doubling supply. Snow, who was massively contained, has turned this around, and he's on the brink of actually taking this game.
I don't understand about the Muta switch here. I mean, I do understand where Snow does not have the number of coursers, but how are you gonna be dealing against the army?
Yeah, the army is just ridiculous. The goons are heavily upgraded. You gotta remember, Mutas don't have any upgrades because Zerg's obviously upgrading their Hydralisk. Another Muta comes out, but Soma's not mining now. He lost his main, he lost his natural. Third base is about to be dead. I mean, there's not that much defense at the third base for Snow, but he knows that this is it for Soma. He has nothing left. GG coming out, and what a game. What a big brain move from Soma with the massive contain with the 5 hatch, but the overwhelming amount of units from Snow, just too much for Soma to handle.
Well, I thought personally, I thought Snow was going to die, because we have seen Gamma was containing Snow in the previous season really well, and Snow was having some difficulty breaking through. But I guess with that 5 months of break for Snow, I guess he did improve how to break that Lurker contain.
Yeah, I also thought Snow was doomed. It would be different if the choke had more surface area for his goons to get out, but Vermeer's chokes are just so tiny. But maybe Soma was a little too far back, gave Snow a little bit too easy access to get into a good position. I don't know exactly what went wrong there, because Soma had a huge contain, as we all saw, but Snow's got to be feeling really confident now, because he said Soma was the strongest Zerg in the group, and he just took him down in a best-of-1, so he should be feeling really good about his chances coming into the winner's match versus whoever from the bottom side.
And I think we are going to be going into the commercial break, and that is going to be Queen versus Soulkey, and stay tuned, guys.
All right, we are back, and we're about to have ZVZ, but I think we've got our Ask ASL segment up next. Maybe not, but regardless, it's going to be Queen versus Soulkey. We've seen this matchup multiple times in the past couple seasons. We're getting a look at Queen's stats here. Basically, 60% win rate versus all the races. I mean, this is somebody you think could potentially win it all. He's just so good across the board, and he seems to have Soulkey's number, because last time they played, he ended up taking the series, but it was close. I think it was 3-2, if I remember.
I cannot remember, quite not sure, but still decent win rate with the ZVZ, and looks like he's holding the hot pack. I mean, I guess the studio is pretty cool with the AC is turned on with the maximum level with the 18 Celsius. That's the maximum where you can put it low. And we are going to be taking a look at Soulkey's win rate. A lot of people were saying Soulkey is bad at ZVZ, but when we are looking at this ASL total record of his ZVZ record, 14 wins and 17 losses, that doesn't seem too bad.
Yeah, 45% win rate is definitely respectable. Like, I was expecting it to be much worse based on, you know, the previous words we've heard from Queen, because it always sounds like Queen just doesn't really mind playing Soulkey at all. Yeah, and we're gonna have a rematch from a couple seasons ago. I do think Queen got the best of Soulkey. I think it started 2-0 in Soulkey's favor, because I remember him talking about practicing with Calm and getting recommendations, and then he just stopped going with the recommendation, and it went in Queen's favor. So I wonder what he's got planned, because remember, we did see him on Butter versus Dashik, and that was a wild game.
Yeah, it looks like players are slowly getting here, and now Soulkey has put his earphones and the noise cancellation here. I guess we are going to go into that the camera screen here. Yes?
Well, Scan, you saw Soulkey's got the jacket, man.
Oh, yes. He's wearing the ASL jacket, so I guess this is the time that Soulkey is going to show, hey, I'm better now. I'm better at ZVZ, and probably going to be taking down Queen.
All he has to do is show it one time, because it's best of one. Let's get into it. It's Queen versus Soulkey, again on Vermeer. Okay, in the top left, our red Zerg, it is Queen. And in the bottom right, our blue Zerg, it is Soulkey. Now, we do have a 4-player map. You do see 12 hatches more often on 4-player maps. And we do have cross spawns, so if somebody actually goes for it, they should be able to defend early Ling pressure. I wonder if anyone will actually go for it, though. And we can see the top 3 Zerg versus Zerg players. Soma at the top, and then Queen number 2, and then Hero at number 3. But did you see Hero's win rate? I mean, it's 53% win rate, and Soulkey's overall win rate, ZVZ, is 45%. So actually, very close win rates among all the top Zergs.
Very good analysis here, and we are all taking a look at here. NSU, that's Zello at the left, and some other students from NSU, and rooting for Soulkey, and they're all. Oh yeah, remember Zello is one of the top amateur player who's insanely good at ZV, insanely good at Muta Micro. Maybe he might have given some the knowledge of in terms of a ZVZ matchup today.
Yeah, Zealot definitely has killer Muta Micro. When I was in Korea, I remember moving out versus him, and you just can't hit his mutas, man. Like, he'll just barely be out of range, snipe like a medic and a marine, then back off. He can literally just stop a push with pure mutas. It's crazy how knowledgeable he is and how well he uses them. And I was asking if anybody was going to go for the 12 hatch, and we do have Soulkey going for the 12 hatch, and we do have a 9 pool from Queen with fast gas. So this is going to be fireworks from the start.
And I'm going to be taking a look at here whether Queen. I heard the story. I was playing one of the Pro League with Mini, and Mini was telling me some ZBZ, the mind game here, that recently a lot of Zerg players are started to do either 5-1 split, or all the 6 Zergling will go to either horizontal or vertical attack. And since the Overlord has gone to all the way to the right side, so his 6 Zerglings most likely will go to the 7 o'clock, because if he ever splits those Zergling in 5-1, then immediately Soulkey will be figuring out. This has to be the 9 point, and he will be pulling out the drone immediately, and maybe also get the metabolic boost as soon as possible. And he wants to do the mind game here. If he has sent those 6 Zergling all the way to 7 o'clock and checks there's no expansion or whatsoever, then Soulkey doesn't know. Soulkey will not know what exactly is happening here. Then he will be tacking up into lair here immediately.
Yep, and that's exactly the case. But we do have the hatchery almost done already. However, it's going to be 10 lings versus just 8, and Queen's going to have speed advantage. He hasn't shown the lings just yet. Will he see? Okay, he sees 2 of them, but that doesn't really give away anything. And here we go. We've got 8 lings at the natural speeds already kicked in, and that was a move command on some of the lings. 2 of them dive, 3, 4. Oh, is this over already? A full drone pull. He's already breached the natural, and those lings, what? Only 1 died for Queen? I mean, this is fantastic for him.
Yeah, those drone. Okay, I guess the drones are doing some great work here, but we can see the Soulkey's Vespene gas has turned out to be the odd number. That means he did cancel the lair tag. He did cancel the lair tag and getting the metabolic boost as soon as possible. The number of drones that he lost here to defend this natural is just too much damage that he has taken.
Yeah, he lost way too many drones. I think he lost at least 3. This hatchery is probably going to die because speed is light years away, and now Soulkey doesn't even have tech advantage, so it pretty much is just mass ling versus mass ling. But Spire is probably going up for Queen right now, and sure, he doesn't have as much larva as Soulkey, but I don't think it really matters because of how far ahead he is in terms of econ and tech. Luckily for Soulkey, the hatchery survives, so this is a playable position, but he's going to have to go into evolution chambers and try and just, you know, defend with spores and play it out.
Look at that number of drones right now Queen has at the main, and also the Zergling lineup there. Soulkey is squeezing out all of his resource for more Zergling production, but I'm quite not sure about this additional Zergling production right now he's making, because he lost so much of a drone, and this number of a Zergling arc is just so beautiful that... Okay, yeah, Soulkey is trying to pick up the lowest HP, but look at the concave, it's just so strong to hold off.
Yeah, the arc is just way too much. Now, if Soulkey had, like, even just 2 to 4 more lings, and maybe he could have busted through, but that window of opportunity has come and gone. Sunken's already up, and all the lings die on the ramp. So now Soulkey's got to defend mutas, while also trying to defend a ling, you know, run by into the main, which we see often in ZVZ. This is just a nightmare scenario for him. The Sunken covers the Sunken covers the Spire too. I guess I have to say Queen didn't mine that much gas. You can see he wasn't mining at all. So he only has maybe 2 mutas. But, I mean, look at Soulkey's econ. He's just now droning. He has only like a couple more drones than Queen.
I like Queen's the optimization here and to defend the Zergling rushers, and now he does have that number of a mineral. I'm pretty sure he will be immediately putting down the 2nd hatchery and then also the 3rd hatchery ASAP, so he will be having the larva advantage against these 2 hatch opening. And yeah, 1 spore colony has gone up at the bottom, but the 2nd colony has not gone up, and that Zergling will not spot the hatchery. Okay, now he will be seeing it.
Ling comes in here, does die. The response time from these players is just nuts. Like, actually crazy. Like, why would Queen ever look there and move his lings? But he moved it.
Yeah, he's supposed to be looking at his single muta where he was he was hurting the spore colony, but he just instantly respawned. I mean, I don't think that single Zergling was in the inside of that sight range. I don't think it was inside of the sight range, but he just responded immediately with the. It's just absolutely beast.
It's just unreal how on top of their game these players are. Now, surprisingly, I think Soulkey's done a really good job to get back in this game. He's got even supply, 24 to 24, and he has like an even ling count, so he can defend a ling run by, but maybe not anymore. What are these lings doing out on the map? Now they're cut off.
Yeah, those Zerglings will just not gonna be doing some great work. I guess he wanted to buy some time, but now here's something that I was mentioning. Queen is droning up and having that saved up 300 resource that will be putting down the third hatchery most likely. Yeah, he's droning up more here. One more drone popping out.
Yeah, he's droning up, and I noticed that Soulkey is not droning up, and those spores do a lot of damage, but don't actually kill a Mutalisk. It was down to, I think, 2 hits, actually, before getting taken out. More Lings are going to move out, but there's an Overlord right outside of Soulkey's base, so of course Queen sees it, moves into position. Now this time around, this is quite a few Lings, so it will push the Mutalisk back, but nothing really for Queen to worry about.
Yeah, I'm definitely worried about this Soulkey, how he really needs to solve the problem, because we are seeing third hatchery is going up. I know we can see Soulkey is putting, he's gonna be mining the second gas here, but if we think about how much of a Mutalisk right now Queen has and the number of Vespin gas he has spent already in the early stage of the game, that second gas that right now Soulkey is going to take is not going to be that much of an effective here.
Yeah, and unbeknownst to Soulkey right now, Queen is actually going to have hatchery lead, which means he's going to have way more production available to him. So supplies should shoot up for Queen in just a second. The muta count still sitting at around 5. I wonder if Queen actually has upgraded armor, because that's an obvious massive upgrade in ZVZ. And we still haven't seen a single Mutalisk out for Soulkey because his Spire is just about to complete now. He does have a lot of gas banked up though. Look at it, he's got almost 700, so he could even up the muta count in an instant.
Yeah, those Zerglings are just trying to buy some time as much as possible, but now I feel like Queen is just everywhere watching what exactly what is happening here. He just threw one of the Zerglings to get the information. When is your Spire going to be finished? And he does confirm how fast the Spire tech was and the second gas and how much of drones are being saturated at the net. And this is just going to be a turtle game from both players.
Yeah, well, if there's no upgrade for Queen, then Soulkey really has evened up the game very well. I mean, he's in a supply lead right now. I can't even believe I'm saying that. 50 to 42. I think he's still down 1 Mutalisk right now, but with perfect muta control, and if he can catch some mutas out of position, this is still a manageable position. And look at that natural. It's completely open. Queen has missed the Mutalisk just now. Okay, never mind. He is going to move in here and swoop around onto these 5 mutas, but that's a lot of Lings moving in the natural, and actually Soulkey might get some damage done here.
Yeah, here's a nice backstab, the counterattack, and now Soulkey has to do some damage here, but the drone pull is definitely amazing. I just heard one drone being killed, second drone picking off, third drone being picked up as well. So now Soulkey is trying to do some work here, picking up one of the Overlord and runs back home.
He's trying to get away, and that's single round of Scourge, get a connection, but actually only one of them connects, so he doesn't kill a Mutalisk, but still supply leads slightly in favor of Soulkey right now. He is putting down his third hatch. Remember, Queen already has his third hatch done. I still don't see armor upgrade for Queen, so it doesn't look like either side has an upgraded advantage, but I think still Queen has slight muta lead, maybe 13 versus 11 or something for Soulkey.
Yeah, I think both of the players will be pretty much turtling up here, and we know Queen does have the larva advantage. He can just instantly recover from the damage that whatever he has taken with the Zergling rush here. And now I think it is going to be the time whether who's going to be taking the third expansion faster.
Yeah, and if there is a time to take it, this is it for Queen, because his +1 armor power spike just kicked in, and that is just such a huge upgrade that even if Soulkey has maybe a couple more Mutalisks, you know, the armored Mutalisk should win. I mean, it's just devastating in muta versus muta battle. And we do actually have a third base going down for Soulkey, so he's feeling good in his position. I would say he's kind of lucky that it hasn't gotten spotted by Queen just yet, but that's a drone going out from Queen too, so we may have a third base from him. And actually, almost all the ZVZs we've seen in the ASL so far have gotten to Hive Tech, so we may actually see another Hive Tech game based on what I'm seeing so far in this game. And we do have armor upgrade done for Soulkey too.
Yeah, both of the players will have the upgrade here. And now the Zergling Queen spotted the third gas for the Soulkey's third gas. And now here the number of Mutalisks are standing at the center of the map. I think Queen needs to squeeze some of his resource to go for the counterattack.
We see Queen's the one with Scourge. It's not that many, but Scourge always forces Mutalisks to run away. And if they can get any connections, this could be game swinging, or the game swinging in Queen's favor. Now it's Queen. He has what seems like two groups of Mutalisks here. Soulkey looks like he's got an even amount of Mutalisks too. Oh, that was great focus fire. He instantly kills one of the Mutalisks. Queen has forgotten about his Scourge. He's not using them at all. Lings might actually take down this hatchery though, but can Soulkey win the air battle? I think all of the Scourge connected. That looks like an overwhelming amount of Mutalisks to me from Soulkey, but maybe not.
Yeah, both of the players are just pretty much getting the multitasking here. Zergling run by, or Zergling counterattack. Yeah, Zergling run by for Queen and Zergling counterattack for Soulkey. Both of the players will be defending. And now Soulkey is trying to get that third gas building hatchery going up. Queen is about to have that third gas at the 9 o'clock in next 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah, that is so many Mutalisks, but Soulkey not going for a counterattack just yet. He's still on the defensive right now. A Ling comes in and spots the hatchery again. The Queen has a lot of Ling. He built like a round of Lings out of all of his hatcheries, so he has something like 12 Lings. So if there's a big Muta battle and there's a counterattack from Queen, he could definitely light up that natural or third base. So Soulkey still needs to be careful here. But the third base is up and running for Queen now, so he's going to have a third gas, which is critical in ZVZ.
I really like how both of the players are just constantly throwing a couple of Zerglings to buy some time here and there. And I don't know whether this is a good idea for Queen to make some Scourges here to have the big fight here, because Mutalisks does the splash damage to the right next to the units, and Scourge, not sure how well it is going to be very effective here.
Yep, and there's that Ling run by in the main that I was expecting, and we've got another big Mutalisk attack at the third base. Drawing the attention away of Soulkey is Queen, and that's going to be another dead hatchery, man. And this may just trigger, oh my god, there was a counterattack into the natural, kills almost all of the drones from Queen, and into the third base. Soulkey, he's everywhere with these Lings, and now supplies again are evened up, but still the hatchery just can't get placed down. But this may trigger just an instant counterattack, and that's what I was waiting for. Does anybody have the +2 armor? And the answer is Soulkey has the +2 armor. Okay, actually Queen has it too, so not an advantage for either side. But look how many Mutalisks that is.
That is definitely a lot of Mutalisks here, and I think Soulkey, he knows that he's going to be falling behind because of the third gas access for Queen to have the gas advantage here, and he's trying to go for the all-in move instead of taking the third expansion. But here's another counter attack that right now Soulkey is going for. Okay, big Muta battle. Scourges are getting connected one by one. Okay, 2 to 1. Let's see who's going to win.
It looks like there's way more red.
Oh, more Scourges just came.
More of the Scourge connected. It's 8-7 versus what, maybe like 15. So Queen easily wins that fight. You can see Soulkey's supply has plummeted 65 to 40, and what was an amazing comeback for Soulkey ends up still leading to a victory from Queen.
That was absolutely beast of how Queen just taking the lead the whole time. I mean, it was also amazing to see how well Soulkey was recovering from the damage that he has taken in the early stage of the game. I mean, like I said, the 9-pool build, you go vertical or horizontal, and then if it's a cross spawn, you wait until the Zergling speed finishes. And we saw Soulkey had the 12 hatchery, and he saw none of the Zerglings were coming from nowhere, so he went for the lair, and his decision making was wrong in that position. And those mind game was just very good for Queen.
Yeah, Queen played excellent, but I think Soulkey just really had a great game there. If he's down that much and he can recover versus someone like Queen, even though he lost, he should feel pretty good about his chances against Queen later if that ends up happening, or even Soma later on. So I think Soulkey, even though he lost, should feel pretty good about the game because that was a really, really amazing comeback. I think he did have opportunities to win. His counterattacks were fantastic. But this does set us up for a Queen versus Snow winners match. And we're going to be going to a break. Oh, no, we're not. I think we got the Hot 6 commercial, right?
Maybe I think so. Yeah, they're shooting the banner here, the Hot 6. Another level. And
Another level.
yeah, he's holding the black one, of course, always. I guess maybe that's the one of the newest item, the newest production that right now Hot 6 are selling. And yeah, the Hot 6, the King Zero. I wonder how it tastes like.
I'm waiting for their cut to the fans because we've seen the past 2 or 3 casts. I don't know whether fans are bringing the Hot 6 or if they're giving out to the fans some Hot 6, but they've been chugging it along with Into the Rain, who we know loves to chug every single time we get to this segment.
Well,
now we've got...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you have some connection with Africa, like let's say you're Africa streamer, then you may have a chance of getting it for free. But for the audience, they don't have any connection with Africa, so of course they're not going to be giving it for free. But let's see. I don't know if they will be showing the audience who's holding the Hot 6 and chugging it together. Okay, everyone is drinking the black one today.
I was thinking the same thing. This time around, everybody's going for the black. I tried the one in the middle, the white one, when I was in Korea. Kind of tasted like raspberry. Had the raspberry flavor. The raspberry flavor. I love the guy in the middle, Caster Park. You can hear him saying Hot 6. And there we go. Into the Rain. He's gonna instantly kill that thing.
Yeah, they're always doing it every time. Not only for StarCraft 1. The middleman, the middle guy, the caster Park, he also casts the StarCraft 2 and the other games as well. So, of course, the other games has the sponsor from the Hot 6. So he probably be drinking the Hot 6 almost every single day, probably without the weekend. I wonder how, I'm kind of worried about his health.
Well, he seems like he likes it. We'll be going to a break and we'll be back with Queen versus Snow. Hey, we are back, and we're about to get into our winners match, which is Snow versus Queen. Snow had a really good pushback versus Soma, busting out of what looked like a a doomsday contain for him. Meanwhile, Queen had a really good ZVZ showing versus Soulkey, but now he's being going up against Snow in a ZVP.
And both of the players are slowly getting. I guess Snow has been watching that ZVZ, and probably he has been prepared and what he really wants to do for the winners bracket here. And I think Queen, he still needs some time. I mean, he just finished his game number 2, and he's just moving into the winners match here. And I guess he kind of wants to buy some time, maybe clear up some his thought before he goes to play against Snow here. He does not have the earphones plugged in yet, so I guess Queen is still not ready yet. And I just noticed Snow is wearing the mask backward here. We can see that KF94 mask is written it backward. Okay, now I guess Queen is ready. He has put the earphones and with the noise cancellation. And let's look at the map.
Oh my god, I can't believe this map got through because I was thinking about this last night. Arkanoid has something like a 90% ban from what I've seen. Like every time we've gotten to this stage of the series, it's been banned basically from every single race. The only other game we've seen so far on Arkanoid was it Sharp? I can't remember. It was a ZVT. Remember the one hatchling lurker? Sock. Yeah, that's it. So I wonder what players have got planned for this because this is such a weird map, unlike any other one.
Whoa.
Right, well, in the top left, our red Zerg. It is Queen. And in the top right, our blue Protoss. It is Snow. Now, PVZ, how does this play out for either side?
I'm quite not sure, but I heard 9-pool Speedling or 9-pool build with the 6 Zergling or maybe 10 Zergling can just break those Protoss Temple and those power generator at the center of the map really fast and slowly push forward to the opponent's base. And I wonder if Queen will be doing the same here. And because of that, I think Snow might just gonna go for maybe something like pylon at the natural there at the center of the the route for the natural for the center of the map. And yeah, there's a pylon, and also one of the fans rooting for Snow. He's going to be joining the military in September 26th. That is not going to be too long. 3 weeks left for him.
We can see in Season 12 round of 16, Queen won 2-1 over Snow. So recent match history there, and that is going to be a gateway from Snow. Not going to be a super fast. Okay, well, I forgot. We do have those larvae or eggs at the natural in third base that he's going to have to take down. So I guess no shocker to see the gateway. And as you mentioned, Arkanoid, we see a lot of early cool builds. You can knock down the temples, and there's temples at every base. It's at the third base, the main base. So you have to be aware that you could be getting hit by Ling from all sides. Now, if this does go long, I expect to see really high tier units from all sides because Protoss is going to be 3 base gas, Zerg's going to be 3 base gas. We could see, well, I was going to say we could see carriers, but I don't know about that. Now, there we go. This is a little different than I was expecting. We're not going to have a fast Nexus. We've got gas coming in. This is going to be a 1-base Cybernetics and going to Stargate or Reaver, I guess.
Well, I'm quite not sure about the Reaver opening, but I may have a... Maybe he might just going to be playing something like a couple of Zala production, maybe 2 or 3 Zala maximum, and then get the Corsair out as soon as possible and just try to find out. I mean, there's no other way of scouting opponent's base. I mean, you can use the shuttle to go for the scout, but shuttle cannot hurt Mira or defend against those Mira and Scourge.
Well, there's Stargate. I also didn't expect Reaver, but you know, I can hope to see Reaver and DBZ on a 1-base, but it's not going to be the case this time around. And we do have a single Zealot knocking down those eggs, so he's going to take a Nexus behind it. There's the Forge, and okay, This is going to be an aggressive opener from Queen because he's got a Hydraless Den coming down. He doesn't have any lings to knock down those cocoons either. So this is just 2 hatch Hydra, now building the 6 lings to start knocking down those temples.
Yeah, those a couple of Zerglings will be just split in half, and we can see both of the players are working on this job, taking down those the neutral creep. And we are seeing Queen is not getting, he's not getting the lair tag whatsoever, but he's getting that Hydra, a couple of Hydralists to defend against the Corsair early stage of the game with the Corsair Scout, and picking up some overlay here and there. And both of the players will be Queen spotted where Snow is located at, but Snow hasn't yet. But I really love the SimCity, the Gateway and the Forge, because he kinda wants to hold off against early stage of the game with the Zergling Rush or whatsoever, and I like how well he has prepared here, and yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, you can tell he's prepared for, I guess, like a 1-hatch ling bust, because he has that probe consistently there, and I think he's waiting to see, okay, are the lings coming, and the lings coming, because if they are, then maybe I can get a cannon down in time, and now he spots lings moving out onto the map, so he instantly puts down a cannon. I can see that that Zealot, I think, has cleared out all of the eggs at the top side, so he could put down a Nexus. Potentially, but maybe not. You gotta remember that there's temples at the top side, the middle, and the right side. So he's gonna have to put cannons at the top side too if he wants to defend. This is a very, very weird map. And actually, I'm thinking to myself, if Queen busts open the top side, there's no cannons at the top side to help Snow defend this. And that's where he's going!
Yeah, he's going to take down the Xel'Naga Temple, and now Corsair will be spotting where the Hydralisks are located at. Yeah, he's trying to find where the Hydralisks are, and now he will be checking it out. But that is going to be the open route for Queen to move, and I really liked how Snow decided to make the second gateway, so he can. Oh yeah, so there was a set of Arjun in the main base, so maybe he's rushing for the Dark Templar here.
He could be rushing for the DT. I think he may be rushing for speed, but I don't know if that will actually complete in time. This is also only 2-gate production for him, so can he really hold? I realize it's only a 2-hatch, but with ling support for the Hydras, I mean, they're very strong. There's also no cannons at all. They're being built, but they're not done yet. Here come the lings, here come the Hydras. The Hydras have speed, so they can definitely take down that Citadel if he wants to. Probes are being pulled off the line. The cannon's gonna get sniped by the Hydras because the lings are getting, or the lings are dealing with the Zealots, and this is maybe the end of Snow because he just doesn't have much to defend. When you look at this cannon placement, just a single one at the top, one in the middle.
Okay, those number of photon cannon is still maybe enough to hold, but I guess he's just waiting to get that Dark Templar up as soon as possible. But we are seeing one of the Ovular is slowly sneaking in towards the 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, and if he was going for speed, well, I don't think it completed in time. Hydras are on top of the mineral line, can focus down the Nexus. He might actually, I was gonna say, he might actually be able to focus down the Nexus with those Hydralisks, but the single DT comes out in the nick of time and will push us back. The problem is, the Overlord's here, like you said. Hydras 1, 2 bleed off, but there's still 10 Hydras left over.
Yeah, I wonder what really happened to those Corsair. I don't see anywhere with, of Snow's Corsair here. One of the Dark Templar is trying to sneak out, and maybe he wants to go for the counterattack with the backstab. But how will he be defending this one group of Hydralisk pressure?
Well, if he can somehow hold this, I think that DT could sit on hold position at the temple. Oh, no, never mind. The temples are so big, they can't do that. But here comes Queen. This is so many Hydras. This is slow Zealot, slow DT. DT dies, back DT dies, Zealot dies, and that's it. Queen easily going to take game 1 with an interesting 2-hatch opener.
After watching this game, my mind somewhat changed. I mean, I'm starting to wonder why Preuss is starting to do this 1-base opening against Zerg, because couple seasons ago, probably like 4 or 5 seasons ago, we had one of the map. It's called Inner Coven, and the Inner Coven had something like a invisible the building that was inside under the ground and was not letting you to put down the base correctly. And a lot of pro players choose to put down the base right next to it, so he just have to mine from the long distance mining and have the economic lead in the early stage of the game. But I'm kind of wondering why he's not doing it.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, Intercoven was a weird map, but it does have that same intricacy that you're talking about as Arkanoid, and Snow's plan definitely just flat out didn't work. The problem with Arkanoid, to me, watching that game, is you just can't defend all the entryways that Zerg has. They can go to the top side, they can go to the main, you know, straight through the middle, they can go to the bottom side, which we didn't even see any movement there at all from Queen. It just seems like a nightmare for Protoss. So no surprise now after seeing that game why almost every single player is vetoing it. Now we're going to get into another new map. Our second map is going to be Nemesis, and Queen is 1 game away from moving into the round of 8. And in the top right, in the red, it is Queen. And in the top left, our blue Protoss, it is Snow. Now I'm trying to think back, how did Protoss play PvZ on Blockchain? Because this is a map that is very reminiscent of Blockchain. And I can't remember exactly how they played. Do you remember?
Well, I think it might be just played as nearly the same as what was the map called from the previous season? Multiverse? No, this wasn't the Multiverse. What was that 4-player map, like a circuit breaker design? With the blockchain design.
Oh, that was Multiverse, yeah. That was Multiverse, where you have the mid-left, mid-right base that are, you know, surrounded by a wall.
I don't really remember the name.
Is it not Multiverse? I feel like
the
that
previous
was
season. What was the map from the previous season? Do you remember?
Okay.
I'll look up real quick then. Maybe I'll figure it out while I'm looking it up. But we are seeing Snow is putting down the gateway. Oh, it was called Metaverse. There you go.
Metaverse, yes, Metaverse.
Yeah, the Metaverse. Maybe you can play something similar to that playstyle where you have that natural defending with the photon cannon and slowly attacking up, but you open up the sideway and take the third expansion as soon as possible, like how Mini has done, or maybe Best has done, Bisu has done. But let's see what Snow has prepared for this season.
Well, again, just like in the Soma game, we've got a gateway opener, so he wants to put on some pressure, and we do see that this was an overpull from Queen into fast gas again. So again, we're going to have speed opener, and Snow's going to be on the back foot, at least initially, unless he can sneak out a Zealot and it goes unscouted somehow. Probe being annoying as always, already knocked down that drone to 20 health.
Did you notice Queen is doing the same build of how Soma did against Snow in the first game, and he went off with the same build opening, and let's see what he has prepared.
I did notice that, and for a second I was like, am I losing my mind, or is this just what Zerg has become versus Protoss? Is it just always fast gas? Because I feel like I'm not used to seeing that, but it is the same opener, at least so far, from Queen. I wonder if he's going to put down the 4 hatches in his main. Is he going to sit at 18 supply for a long time? And the answer is, we've already got a deviation, because that is 8 lings now, not just 6. Okay. And he's back on gas.
Okay, start mining the gas here. Zerglings are here to go for the pressure. 5 Zerglings are here, 2 Zealots are here, but I guess Snow is just having so much of a pressure here that he wants to put down the photon cannon first before the Nexus. From the previous game, Soma started off with the 2 Zergling only into a 6 Zergling maximum, and that kind of helped Snow to get the Nexus really fast, but this time is different. Snow has not gotten the Nexus yet.
Yeah, and I like this. Now that I remember that it's, you know, sort of like blockchain, but not exactly, where you've got these eggs in the middle. Now Protoss has to defend their natural while also defending their main, And there's this side egg too, so he's going to defend the bottom side also. This is an awkward position for Snow. He's got to spend a lot of money on all this defense. Meanwhile, Queen, he's going into lair. He doesn't have to worry about counterattacks right now. If he goes into fast mutas, I don't feel like Snow's going to have really any tech at all, but that's not going to be the case. It's going to be fast lurker, potentially even lurker drop.
The bag of build right now he's showing off, and we are seeing Snow is gonna be doing some work that well, I like this idea. He's just gonna be letting that X to be open at the bottom side, but he won't be letting any of the Zerglings sneaking inside of his main base from the 12 o'clock.
Yeah, and that's critical, because if Protoss knows what's coming, then obviously it's much easier to defend. We see cybernetics coming in, and more than likely we're going to see Stargate coming in. By the time the Stargate gets across the map, I actually think it will be too late to respond to lurkers. The probe! Oh my gosh, did the Lings miss it? So he missed it, and the probe may actually get into the main. This is such a critical moment for Snow right now. He must get in and figure out what this is.
Well, even the probe does have sneaked out, and now the Overlord will be spotting it. And does he have any other units to hold up? But now the Hydralisk will get spotted, and that will be giving him some information that this is just way too fast. Fast Hydralisk. This has to be lurker all in.
Well, he may still not know if it's, you know, Hydra bust or what. Okay, now that he knows that it's only one Hydra and it has no speed, he just missed the lair though.
That was not inside of the range to check out the lair tag. And the number of Zergling count is still large enough, but I really do not like about this photon cannon placement, because it's just in a straight line that Lurking can just scratch and just bust it out. And I just heard this building being cancelled from Zerg, so I heard maybe Queen is doing the supply trick there.
Yeah, I think if this was a Hydra bust, the Hydras would have shown themselves by now, but it doesn't seem like Snow is confident that this could be lurkers, because I didn't see a single cannon in the main yet. But where are the Hydras for Queen? Like, also where are the Overlords in position to go for a drop? I don't see them in position for a drop at all. This doesn't even look like he's intending to bust anywhere. This looks like he's using actually the lurkers defensively, or to force Snow to overreact, while also take bases at the same time, because you see Queen taking bottom right.
A very interesting move from these two players. And lurkers are slowly gonna be going out from natural. I think these number of a lurker, maybe one or two that he made, he wants to. Yeah, there are two lurkers, so two lurkers are probably gonna be focused targeting on that forge to cancel out before that +1 finishes. And we see another forge being going up. Arjun is going up as well.
Getting worried for Queen, because I feel like even though this is obviously very different than the Soma game, what is consistent here is Queen's econ is not the greatest right now, and Soma's econ in the early stages was also not the greatest, and Snow's econ really didn't get disrupted that much. I realized he put down a lot of cannons, but I feel like he's probably going to scale into 7 or 8 gate quite effectively. And I feel like we may have like another big 30-40 supply lead potentially in Snow's favor, and with a lot of avenues, right? I guess I don't think you can go to the top side or bottom side anymore, but I feel like we could still have a strong, you know, goon bust like what we saw in the Ramir game.
I'm now having a question whether this is going to be the DT drop for Snow or just a reverb production from that robotic facility at the natural. Okay, there's still no Templar Archive. Maybe he might just gonna go for Observer into Speedlot to break it through.
Yeah, I mean, he could go for that also. This does look like it could be Reavers because of how fast the robotics is, but actually that's an observatory instead.
He canceled it.
Of course, he needs that. Oh, he canceled it?
Well, okay, yeah, he already had one at the main base, so now he's canceling it. So that was a wrong decision making for Snow. Lost 25 resource there, 25 Rasping gas, unfortunately, and now one of the Overlord will get picked up. That's nice Corsair micro for Snow, picking it off. and confirms there's another hatchery about to go up at the 5 o'clock main.
Yeah, and I was talking about this before the games today, where the only time where I saw Reaver come in was when somebody was going for split map like this, didn't build that many units, and as you can see, there is definitely not a lot of units for Queen right now. He's going into 6 hatch split, but we don't see the support base, so I guess it's not going to happen this time around. He does have the shuttle though, and he has unloaded 4 zealots. There's only 5 hydras at bottom right, so these zealots should win, especially with no SimCity, and at the same time he's going to bust out of this lurker contain. Corsairs are here too, could potentially supply block Queen, and Snow's starting to make the game wild. These hydras can't run anywhere, they have to fight.
Yeah, those hydralists are just having some difficulty sneaking it out, but now he's sending back that one lurker all the way to 5 o'clock, but does he have enough? Okay, that's a nice lurker egg blocking the route. I really love it. And yeah, those zealot needs to do some amount of damage before. Yeah, I guess he doesn't want to do the damage because he noticed that more army is coming from the north. He will be surviving it.
That was a really clutch egg, as you pointed out, but also really good control there to focus down the lurker, because even though there is an observer, it's trailing the zealots because obviously the observer is much slower. So a single lurker could have racked up a lot of damage onto those zealots. But instead, both players are going to back off for now, but I think this was a really good harassment from Snow so far. Shuttle goes out again, but this time the Ling spotted, but did Queen actually notice it is the question. Actually, there is the Reaver. So we will have Reaver supporting these zealots for now, and I expect to see a lot of Dragoons coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, Corsairs are here, but maybe he just wants to open up some gap to go for the drop here at the bottom. Probably draw some attention at the north. And now here are the 2 Dark Templars, but Queen is just everywhere. He just sends something what is going to be happening in the next 1 minute or so. He just knows when the DT comes, and he just holds off.
Well, he holds off for now. You gotta remember DTs do 40 damage, though. He knocks down 4 of the 5 hydras, losing only a single DT. Corsairs are gonna come back and try and knock down this overlord, and whether or not the DT gets any more kills doesn't really matter because he's forced all the hydras back. He's already dealt a lot of damage, and he's gonna get another hydra kill right there. He loses a Sair though, but this does alleviate a ton of map pressure. But I don't see a 3rd base going down for Snow anywhere, not at mid left. Also not at top middle.
Okay, here's the Reaver playstyle I was talking about. Now he's getting those 2 Reaver out. I wonder how exactly he's gonna be solving the game. Okay, now he does have the speed shuttle here. No High Templar though. Speed Zealot, Goon, Corsairs, no High Templar against the Zerg comp.
Well, we saw Soma go into a Muta Switch, but the Muta Switch timing was way too late. But if Queen can get a whiff of this being an actual Reaver combo attack, Muta Switch could be the play because there's not that many goons. There's 2 Sairs, 4 goons, that's it. But we may not get to that point because Snow is here. That's a Reaver shot from downtown. Gets a connection right there. He's trying to knock down more Hydras, and they do connect. He knocks down one of the Reavers, though. That's good control from Queen. He knocks down the Observer, but there's not any more Lurkers left. 10 kills already on that Reaver.
That is such an amazing Scarab shot connecting to those Hydralists. Once again, connecting it, but now the reinforcement is coming from the back. But the Reaver needs to survive. Goons are pretty much tanking and buying some time. Nicely done. Okay, it's throwing another Scarab there. Constantly annoying Queen as much as possible. Reinforcement is about to come. Queen taps out. Now the score is tied.
Oh my god, what an insane timing from Snow. That was definitely unexpected. When I saw the DT drop, I thought, okay, well, this is not going to be a Reaver game. And you can see that Queen was caught off guard too, because that Reaver just dealt so much damage. 17 kills. Just insane. You can tell that that's a Snow Reaver because his shots are just always on point.
Of course, that was amazing. How well he pretty much showed that Reaver playstyle does work against the Zerg without the Templar. I mean, he did have the Templar archive up at the main, but he didn't make any. Maybe he just wanted to make a couple of Dark Templars and try to draw attention at the 4th base at the bottom right. and then have that 2 Reavers ready. And there's a fan. Oh, he was the Hawkbird the supporter in the previous season of the university team, and he's rooting for Snow. A lot of girls are rooting for Snow. Talking about the blood type AB, there's some type of the myth going on in East Asia saying about the AB blood type has some dirty play in terms of gameplay style, and rooting for Snow. And the third map is going to be Odyssey.
And again, we've got our new ASL map, and it's going to be the last game of the series. Let's find out who's making it out in the round of 8. So in the bottom left, our Zerg, it is Queen, and then of course in the top right, our teal Protoss, it is Snow. So both times around, we've seen that weird opener with the 9 pool gas, I think, or over pool gas. It has ended up backfiring for both Zerg players. I think now's the time for Queen to just open with a normal opener here and try and play out a long game versus Snow.
I'm looking at very carefully here of Queen's main base, because you can see at the bottom left the second mineral. He's doing the mineral boost manually. He's boosting the mineral to have more income there, and he's just try to catch up with the economy when he's falling behind. And we are seeing Snow. Let's see whether he's gonna be doing. Okay, he will be putting down the pylon, but now no pylon scout. So this is most likely going to be either 2 option, Gateway or 12 Nexus. The blind 12 Nexus.
Blind 12 Nexus on a 2-player map. I don't know if I would be confident enough to try and go for that Nexus. And Snow, not going to opt for it this time. Again, it's going to be another Gateway opener. And we do see overpool again from Queen. This time around, no gas, at least not just yet.
Yeah, that has to be the main gate opening from Snow. When I look at the supply count, now it turns out to be 11, and Queen has gone for the overpull, but this time no gas opening. Not gonna be trying out Soma's build. I guess no, Soma's build is not working out well, even if Queen was doing it. But let's see if Snow will be buying some time and deny that second base as much as possible. I guess Queen doesn't even want to try. He's just gonna be sending that drone all the way to 9 o'clock. Hey, I don't want to deal against your probe harassment.
Yeah, I mean, lucky for him, the third base isn't exactly the farthest away, so he does get down in the hatchery pretty much at the exact moment he has 300 minerals anyways. Pool completes, and Snow's going to be feeling pretty good that he doesn't have to deal with anything weird, no fast gas. And we do see probably 6 lings in production, and first Zealot moving across the map just now.
1 drone, 2 Zerglings just came out. I would like to know whether that is going to be 4 Zerglings. No, has to be 2 drone and 2 Zerglings. So now Snow is going to be having the confidence to move out the single Zealot all the way to 9 o'clock. He knows there's no hatchery at the natural, so there's absolutely no reason for him to go to natural. Okay, maybe he has some thought. Maybe he wants to go for the trade.
Okay, I guess he does want to go for the trade, so he's hitting directly towards the nat, and the lings are trying to find that Zealot. He thought maybe it was already here behind the mineral line, but not the case. Probe went into the main and backed off, and now that Zealot is actually going to go... Okay, it's just going to go back, in fact. I thought it might actually head towards the third base, but he's decided that just simply being out in the darkness is enough, forcing lings out of position.
Okay, we are seeing... a simulator has gone up before the third pylon, so I'm somewhat curious how exactly Snow wants to solve this problem, because normally for Protoss player they kind of put down the pylon first into a simulator because they want to have the non-stop Zealot production into gas, but this now has the supply block for a couple seconds, and now Snow has the forge up at the main base instead of the forge at the natural. Okay, this is Hydrogen.
Look at this. He scouted that the gas was so late that it's impossible for it to be, you know, mass lings and try and overrun and out micro the natural, or out micro the zealots at the natural. So he's decided that, okay, I can leave it open for a while, and instead walls off with the cybernetics with the forge in the main. So he's not going to lose +1 anymore. And we do see behind this, Queen put down a Hydra Din. So this could be 3-hatch Hydra bust, 973 potentially on the menu.
And yeah, he's slowly setting up. There are 8 drones, 9 drone at the main, 1 drone at the net. Not sure how many drones are mining at the third base, but Snow simply defended against those Zergling harassment. He does have that 4 zealot, and let's see whether Snow is going to be putting down the Sirabadun or Stargate immediately. Okay, when I'm looking at the minimap, that seems like a Stargate building going up, but here are 2 zealots are buying some time.
Yeah, and it's also probably going to allow him to get intel onto what this is. He's probably going to see a Hydra be produced, unless Queen is building them all at the third base, which would be really genius of him. For now, nothing has really been spotted from Snow. He didn't see an overwhelming amount of links. He does actually just back off. So this probe actually needs to get intel, because right now it doesn't seem like anything unusual is going on.
Yeah, Hydraless flood is coming, but I don't think Snow knows about what exactly is happening. Yeah, I mean, it's already 5 minutes 30 seconds long of the game, and Zergling speed is still not done. He must be sensing something. Maybe he noticed something should be coming momentarily. Maybe that could be one of the reasons why he just wants to have some backup plan and putting down the second photon cannon at the net. Okay, now there's a third photon cannon, because absolutely no reason to for not having that Zergling speed being completed.
Well, this is going to be the 9734, because we've got a Hydra bust in air quotes right now, but all it's doing is putting pressure onto the natural, forcing a lot of cannons. And behind this, we see Queen is macroing out of it. He's droning up. He's got 4 hatches. Well, maybe he's not droning up, because now the Hydra counts at 10. But this is still not something that I think can... Oh, maybe he can take down these cannons and the Zealots. But the Zealots have done a really good job to knock down 4 of the Hydras instantly. None of the cannons actually die. Cybernetics and Gateway are going to fall. But for now, Snow's in a fine position. He also didn't lose a single Zealot there.
Yeah, that seems 944. So that seems really, really poor build from what I'm going to be guessing. Maybe I don't think Queen is just not... I don't think Queen is going to be going for the macro game here, because it's not 973 here right now with the drone saturation. So 944, he's missing 3 drones. I don't think he can just go for late game potential here. Maybe he might just going to be ending the game. Never mind, he's just going to be droning up. I'm not sure about this decision making, because for Zerg player, you have invested that much of a mineral for aggression and you failed it. You don't want to go for the macro potential game here, because you did not stop that +1 weapon upgrade for Protoss, and here's a number of the photon cannon being up, and as well, I don't know how he's going to be holding off the next move.
Yeah, I also agree with you. I didn't realize that it was such a low drone count, but Queen's got other plans. He is going to try and transition out of this, but Snow saw with his Sair the low drone count, which is why you saw more cannons being built. He does see another hatchery coming down, so he may end up canceling that cannon at his natural, but he's ramping up his gateway production. He's sitting at 5 in just a moment. As he pointed out, the forge was not popped because it was built in the main, so he's going to have a huge upgrade lead. He may even have 1-1 done before Zerg even gets +1 at all, because I didn't see an evolution chamber anywhere.
That is definitely true, as you stated. And I really like this SimCity. Pylon in the middle and gateways on the side, like 4-4 or maybe 6-6 maximum, having 12 gateway maximum. And Snow is doing that SimCity how Horang 2 Bingsu does. And he's just doing really, really well here.
Oh my gosh, that's so many gateways that just got put up. And something we didn't even talk about is this is Odyssey, which has that optimizer feel to it, because you've got double gas in the main. So this is Protoss on 3 bases. He could probably go into like 10 gate, because he can use 2 of them or 3 of them for Templars, and then the other 7 or 8 for Zealots, and probably be able to produce out of all of them. I mean, he's just going to have so many Templars and high tech. You can see he's already got 4 done.
And now that one of the Zerglings is just going to be attacking that Xel'Naga temple at the behind. Try to buy some time. And now Queen, I think he needs to slowly back up because the number of the Zealot count is slowly going to be large. And yeah, look at the Zealot count. And 4 High Templars are sitting at the natural. Zealot speed is done. And now Snow is checking out. Hey, how many Hydralisks are standing? Okay, I'll be sneaking out 4 Zealot, like how Vultures are sneaking out, and chase my Zealot.
Yeah, we saw that cybernetic spinning, so the goon count is going to start ramping up in just a second. And I'm just getting flashbacks to the game we saw versus Soma, where the goon count is probably going to be overwhelming in the next couple minutes. It is relatively close in supply right now, 96 to 86, but I really do think Snow supply is about to explode, and with the 1-1 upgrade advantage, that's going to be a huge power spike for him. Now, Zealots need to be careful to not bleed off here because Lurkers are being morphed. This is a good SimCity for Zerg. Yeah, he is smartly going to back off. I like that move.
A very good SimCity. And the number of Hydralisks are split in half, but I'm wondering, okay, yeah, he does have that. Yeah, I was wondering how he was going to be holding off that third base, but now I see there's a single Lurker. Okay, that's so many of the Zealot I wasn't expecting. That's so many.
That is a ton of Zealots, but no Observer means that it is going to be pushed back. Now, if Queen can survive this incoming Zealot Goon Templar timing that I'm expecting to happen, if he can survive this, he has 8 hatches. I mean, that's a freaking ton of production, but he must survive this, and it's going to be really tough because the 1-1 power spike is done. We saw 7 Templars at the natural. That's an unreal amount of storms.
And yeah, that is definitely true. These number of Zealots are just constantly rotating, just going everywhere, try to draw some attention at the north and at the south at multiple times, and try to draw attention everywhere. And meanwhile, Snow is getting the gun count slowly, and most likely I think Snow is going to be moving out when the +2 armor, maybe before +2 armor finishes, maybe he will just go for the attack move.
Yeah, he could be, and actually Queen does have his +1 weapon right now, so it's not as big of a deficit as I thought it was going to be, and he's even in supply. I mean, 130 to 138, that's pretty much even. However, he does get supply blocked at a critical moment here. Zealots, or the entire army of Snow, is across the map and may have caught some of these Hydralisks. They need to scramble to get away and try and sync up with the rest of the army. Wow. That is, as I stated, a lot of units for Queen because he has so many hatches, but almost max supply for Snow. He's sitting at 150 right now.
The number of Hydralisks is definitely large, but if we think about the number of High Templar count, it's just non-stop Sidestorm in that fight. More goons are coming, merged in the center of the map, and now the army, okay, using the Sidestorm on the left side, right side, and now that did tons of damage, and now Snow is slowly going to be breaking the left side.
Oh, and it looks like he's again going to have the arc advantage. Like, look at this. All the Lurkers are going to get picked off, basically. However, that's a lot of Hydras in the back. Snow has great storms, blanketing a lot of the Hydras on the top side and the bottom side. But supplies are dwindling for both. It's still 130 to 120, so actually Snow may not be able to push through here. I didn't realize there was high ground up here, which is super annoying. However, he's going to push them up into position, but is this a mistake? There's so many Hydras trying to reinforce. Zealots coming in through the back line, but so many storms have gone down that I don't know how many he has left over.
That's more High Templars are coming. About to use the Sidestorm, but not enough energy. Okay, the backup High Templars are here. +2 armor should be kicking in soon, momentarily before 14-minute mark. And now the number of a goon count is just too large, and Goon's High Templar combo is very strong against the massive Hydralisks. And this is high ground Goon. Okay, I did not expect that another group of Hydralisks will be sinking up from the north. And now Goons are slowly getting melted.
They are slowly dying. The 8 hatch production is kicking in. Can Queen knock this down? The answer is going to be just barely. The first Archon ends up falling, but Snow's reinforcements are getting here in time. Maybe not, actually. The Archon's going to fall too. It racked up a lot of kills, but is there enough for Snow? It seems like he may actually just barely have enough because supplies are falling for Queen just at 80 right now.
Yeah, the High Templar, I guess Queen is having some scared moment. He was backing up the Hydralisk because he thought that Psystorm, the High Templar had enough energy to use the Psystorm, but it did not have. And now I guess Queen, somehow he managed to hold off, and now Sunken does finish. +2 armor finished at the 14-minute mark, and that was so close.
That was indeed so close. What a clutch hold from Queen there. He just barely holds on, and behind this, Snow's taking a 3rd base, but I think that Nexus kinda just started for him. So it's not like he has 3 base econ just yet. He is going to be mined out in his main pretty soon, and Queen is still sitting pretty on 4 base econ. I didn't see a single drone there die either, so he's evened up the supply. He's going to be even in upgrades, or close to even in upgrades pretty soon. And now Snow's going to be on the back foot because Zerg's going to pump out so many units in just a second.
And somehow the Overlord just came all the way to the south, and now sees the shuttle just came, and Dark Templar needs to evacuate. And now I'm just having a thought, if the result would have been different if Snow has gone all the way to the south with that 4 groups up army and attacking the natural, because the natural is wide open and there's no high ground advantage where Queen actually hold well. But we are seeing one of the Dark Templar will be slicing one of the drone, and 2 more drones at the main.
Yeah, he didn't notice at all. He thought that the DT drop backed off, but that's never the case. Even round 2 coming in just a second. The DT gets picked off at the natural, but Snow's coming in with another drop into the main. And you can see Queen's in panic mode because he just burrows all the lurkers at once. And Snow's actually going to the natural right now. He's avoiding the army. He's trying to attack right there. He knows it's a vulnerable position, and he's right. And all of the lurkers are completely out of position. If he can snipe that evolution chamber, that would be a big win for him. Oh my gosh, he's forced an engagement at this choke while the natural gets breached.
Wow, the number of High Templar does have enough energy to use a couple more storms, and these number of storms is just infinite. Storm buying some time, backing up, peeling up all those Hydralisks one by one. Another storm goes off. Do you have another Storm?
This is just an insane amount of damage that these storms are doing. They've killed so many Hydras, so many lurkers. The natural army didn't get cleaned up at all. Actually, Zealots are getting into the main right now. 3 Zealots in the main, maybe those will die. But I think Snow has done it. He found an opening. He breached the natural.
Ooh.
Sunken may save the day versus this DT, but the Nat has been breached, main's been breached, and this Flare may end up dying.
And both of the players are trying to one of the players is trying to defend, and the other one is trying to go for the attack move. But now the one thing that I want to mention about here, it would be Snow's main base is mined out. His natural will be mined out in the next 1 or 2 minutes. If Snow is just staying in a 1 base long at the 3 o'clock expansion only, then I'm quite not sure. He still needs to do more damage. I mean, this Queen has 4 base saturation. Okay, another 4 High Templar coming from the north. Guns are buying some time.
Yeah, that is true. Something that I didn't consider. You can see that Snow's supply is still about 20 to 30 ahead, but these are Hydras, man. They're fighting on high ground. They're pretty decently upgraded. The natural, even though it got breached, I still see 2 hatcheries sitting there. So if there's a drone cycle from these 8 hatcheries, that base is going to be completely saturated in an instant. So Snow puts down a 4th Nexus at bottom right, but it just now started. Zealot bomb into the main again. Maybe he can knock down that critical Hydra Den or lair, and it got unscouted, so he definitely can do some damage.
Yeah, random 4 Zealots all of a sudden shoving inside of Queen's main base, and Queen is not watching. Oh yeah, Queen didn't notice, but the main army of Snow did not sync up yet. Still 1 energy away, 1 energy away. It does fire those Psystorm, nicely done. And also at the bottom, did not expect about the 4 High Templar with a couple of guns using the Psystorm. Nicely done, picking up the lurker 1 by 1, and he's trying to deny that 3rd expansion, but the High Templar does have enough energy to use one more storm. Do you have it? Yes, you do.
He's got 2 storms. He ends up killing basically all the Hydras, and he is going to not really take much probe damage. So that counterattack from Queen really didn't work out at all. The Zealot, I don't know how much damage he got done in the main, but it forced all of those Hydras out of position. You can see that the drones were completely pulled to the natural. So again, even though there's 4 bases for Queen, he's essentially only mining on 3. We still don't have an overwhelming supply lead for Snow just yet, so Queen's still in it, but he needs to get some damage done.
This +2 armor upgrade of Snow is just definitely paying off to fight back, and now these number of probe transfer, 4 base saturation, and now he's going to be having 5 gas.
Yeah, 5 gas Protoss, and that's crazy. And we do have another drop into the main, maybe? That Hydrogen's dangerously low. If there's something in it, I would like to see him pick it off. But I guess nothing was in it. He wanted to just draw units out of position. But we're going to have another big collision in just a second. This time around, I don't see any lurkers. So it's just pure Hydra versus a very high-tech Protoss army. Almost no Zealots in this.
Yeah, the number of High Templars is just way too many. I wonder when the +2 attack upgrade will be completed for Snow, but still, +2 armor is just paying him off really well. These number of High Templars just constantly using Storm left and right, and Queen is about to get busted at the natural.
Yeah, and this might be it. He's found the vulnerability, doubling the supply, 58 to 118. Even the cameraman knows he's got that zoom in. Just like in the old OSL and MSLs, and there it is. GG comes out in the single Protoss in the group, talking about how hard it is to play PvZ. Snow, he's gonna make it out in first place.
Wow, he did survive in a for his death group. I mean, he is the one of the players who's not really good at PvZ, unlikely compared to Bisu and Rain, but he showed to us that he did improve. He did learn a lesson from probably against Gamma from the previous season, and yeah, I really glad to see him make it out of this group. And it looks like Snow cannot. He's just still not sure that he made it into round of 8. He seems he's kind of shocked that he actually made it out, and now he noticed that he actually won the game. He's gonna be walking into the winner's interview.
Yeah, you can tell he's happy about that. I mean, he played really well. He was able to identify that all the Zerg games were low eco. He played it perfectly, and his engagements were fantastic. And I don't think anybody wants to play ZVP versus him on Odyssey because he just had endless storms. 5 gas Protoss. Seems like that's definitely not the map for PvZ for Zergs.
ASL Season 14 Round of 16, and that was one of the death group we are watching. And one of the player of this Round of 16 of Group C, first player who will be advancing into Round of 16, that will be Snow. Congratulations! A lot of audience are rooting for you and watching you. Snow, it took you about 3 seasons to make it into round of 8, and you survived in this the group stage against these top 3 Zerg, Soma, Queen, Soulkey. You showed very good performance, and you seem like you are not sure about your victory of that winner's match. And how do you feel? You seem like you are not sure when you won. How do you feel? So Snow is saying that he had about like a 30% chance of making it into round of 8. He kinda having he cleared up his thought and just played comfortably. Kinda worked out well. He was saying that if he actually practiced PvZ against these top 3 Zerg players, then he probably had a 0% chance of winning it. But he's kind of glad about that his performance did work out well. So you showed us Zealot Reaver build. Were you actually prepared of this? And what was your win rate in the practice game? He's saying about yesterday or 2 days. He said he had some connection with Calm. He was practicing with Calm, and wasn't working out well with this
Reaver
Reaver Zala build.
승률도 실제로 20-30%밖에 안 나와서
This build only had about 20% win rate. He kind of had he kind of just
신기하네요, 저도.
세 번째 세트는 사실
he just kind of had some no hope about this strategy, but
좀 막히는
since he had been practicing and prepared of this strategy for a couple days, so he had to give it a shot in this offline stage, and kind of worked out well.
그리고 다크로 빈틈을 만들어내고 이 좁은 길로
You open up the gap with a couple of Dark Templar and drawing the attention to the other side and using the Goon, Zealot, and maybe a couple of High Templars.
약간 주사위 6이 뜬 것 같았어요.
초인적인 힘이.
So Snow is answering about this.
대회라서
I think they're talking about the last game where
책임감도 생기고
his move. Most likely he did not play well in the practice game, but he's kind of glad that it worked out well in an offline stage. We also have to talk about game number 1 against Soma. There should be a lot of meaning for you, because almost everyone, okay, he's saying something about the people, audience, and other players are expecting that you are not going to be taking down Soma, and Snow, you played really well. And he's also shocked about how well he actually busted that contain, the lurker contain. With your first Corsair, you scouted Soma's main base and you saw there are 3 hatchery at the main. And what was your thought? And Snow is saying, what is this build? And he just kind of thought that he had some lead because he had all those tech built up and no layer tech whatsoever, but just macro hatchery at the main. So Snow thought that he had the lead.
세 시즌 만에 8강이기 때문에 정말 오랜만에 다전제를 이제 준비하셔야
So
할
now
것
it's
같아요.
been a 3 seasons.
현재 조 1위로 올라오셨기 때문에
3 seasons break for you that you did not get to play in the round of 8, and now you get to play the best of 5 series. And who do you like to avoid? Do you like to avoid PVZ? And he says he wants to play PVZ, but then he also wants to play against Light. But unlikely that they cannot get to play each other because Light made it out the round of 16 as the first player. So first player do not get to play each other. So he's quite not happy about it.
박진감 넘치게 지켜볼 수밖에 없을 것 같습니다. 아마 장윤철 선수가 경기하는 날에 현장이 가득 메워질 것 같다는 생각이 드는데요.
We're excited to see round of 8 for you and how the group draw is going to be. I mean the bracket draw is going to be. And any last word to your fans? A lot of he's glad that he's happy to see lots of audience are here. And he wants to say thanks to Tsuna University, the leader, Horangi. He also wants to say thanks to the fan and the financial supporter. He also wants to mention about the name, art user, hero, and I missed the one last name, and he wants to say to those practice partners.
영환이 형도 고맙습니다.
Oh, he just remembered he wants to say thanks to Shine. And congratulations that you made it into the band. We'll see you next week.
자, 이렇게 C조에서 가장 먼저 8강에
Well done from Snow. He played well all day long. He may actually get his... Oh, we've got our ASL event first.
Yeah, the Ask ASL mainstream platform. You go to the ASL mainstream platform, ask a question there. If you leave the comment there, if your comment gets selected, you get the ASL mini fan. 4 people will get it. There's also the winners prediction event, Africa TV esports page. With the gem, you bet, and with the number of the gems you have, you can actually exchange it with some type of production that they're actually letting you to exchange it, like the coffee or maybe the graphics card if you have a lot of gem. And yeah, we are going to be going into the commercial break. That is going to be Soma versus Soulkey. And stay tuned.
Now all that remains is Zerg. So we're going to have ZVZ from here on out, 2 best of 3s. Actually, a lot of the ZVZs we've seen in ASL so far have been, you know, longish games. We've actually gotten to mid-game. We've gotten to Hive Tech a couple times. We almost got the Hive Tech in Queen versus Soulkey. We had tons of mutas, both players getting into +2 armor. And we're going to have Soma versus Soulkey in our losers match.
Yeah, I haven't seen both of the players playing each other, but we have seen Soulkey played really well against Donovick and Queen from previous season, and I wonder how well Soulkey will be playing against Soma, because I don't think they have any record between each other. And look at those map ban.
Yeah, Neo Arkanoid ban from both sides. Up until the game we just saw, or the series we just saw between Snow and Queen, the only other game was that sock game that we saw on Arkanoid. So again, another non-surprising ban, and our players are ready. So let's get into game 1 on Butter. Hey, in the bottom right, our yellow Zerg, it is Soma, and in the top right, it is Soulkey. Now, we've got a 2-player map. I'm trying to remember the Donovick game. Did somebody 12 hatch? I don't think so. I remember Soulkey being aggressive at the bottom side of the map.
I think Soulkey has gone for
no,
the 9. Yes, I think that was the game where who was it? I can't recall. I think it was Soma at the bottom. No, Soulkey at the bottom went for 1 base opening, and Donovick has gone for the 12 hatchery or 12 pool opening that time with the Spore Colony build. And let's see whether one of the other player will be going for the 1 base opening.
Yeah, and I always pay attention to these scout paths of the Overlords. You can see, even though it looks somewhat similar, you can see that Soma's the one going towards the natural, whereas Soulkey is going directly to the main. So Soma's going to be the first one to know whether there's actually a hatchery at the natural, but Soulkey should get to the main a little bit faster, so he'll spot the spawning pool timing. And we do see that even though the pool timing is similar, there is gas for Soma, whereas Soulkey's gas is going to be just slightly later.
Yeah, so Soulkey has made the second Overlord slightly faster than Soma, but Soma has gone for classic 9 pool extractor into an Overlord here. So he's most likely, maybe he might, well, we don't know, but there's a potential chance that he might gonna go for the 9 pool speed or 9 pool lair. But Soulkey, who has gone for the second Overlord first before the extractor, that means Soulkey will go for lair tech most likely.
Well, we'll see if that's going to be the case. We've got about a 55-56 gas lead for Soma. I think he just pulled 1 off of gas, so it's not going to be as big of a gas lead as it could have been. There's 6 lings for Soma, and there is speed for him because Lair did not start, whereas Lair has started for Soulkey, and he still has 3 on gas. Neither player knows exactly what's going on just yet, but Soma spots the lings coming out, so maybe he'll branch out like 2 of the lings. Instead, he's just going to branch out all of them, or branch out 4 of them. He's going to go for an instant counterattack, but now he's going to have to deal with these 6 lings versus just 4 in his main.
Yeah, I wonder how exactly Soulkey wants to do. But one thing that I know, whenever Zerg player is going for the 9 pool lair first, they make only maximum 10 links. So 6 Zerglings already went all the way across the Soma space. Okay, now I guess Soulkey wants to play safe here, that he wants to make extra 2 more. And there might be a chance that Soulkey might be making one more drone for the saturation. But gotta be careful here.
Hey, whoa, that was a move command, and he's going to lose just 1 of his links. It could have been worse. Actually killed 2 of Soma's links. That was a better trade than I was anticipating. However, speed advantage for Soma right now kicking in, and Soulkey's got to be careful to make sure nothing gets in. That's a good trade right there for Soma, picking off the weakened Ling.
Yeah, we can see Soma has, Soulkey has the number of drones lead. Okay, let me count how many there are. There are about 7 drone mining at the mineral, 3 drones on gas. And let's see if Soulkey, instead of getting the metabolic boost, he did invest that extra drone for the hatchery here. And now I think this is not looking great for Soulkey because Soma is the one going to be putting down the hatchery at the net.
Yeah, and both players have similar drone counts. Well, now it's a Soulkey drone count advantage after that cycle comes in, but it was 7 versus 6 a moment ago. But with the natural going down for Soma, he's going to have access to that additional gas. Fire timing looks relatively even, so mutas are not going to be, there's not going to be a big muta difference at the early stages of the game. And for now, we are just waiting for players just get their overlords complete and build up that muta count.
For me, for some reason, I feel like Soulkey is not having that great Zergling arc to defend, and now the Spartak is about to be finished for both players. But Soulkey, couple seconds faster, and Soma definitely knows about it. He's going to be pulling back all of his Zergling. Okay, not yet. That's a lot of eggs.
That is a lot of eggs morphing right now. 4 Mutalists for Soulkey, and it seems like still Soma has a drone advantage. I thought I saw 8 in the main for Soulkey, whereas there's 9 for Soma. Lings are going to try and counterattack, and he does get 3 into the main to buy him time. He does spot that it's actually 3 mutas and 2 Scourge for now. So the Lings, even though they don't get damaged, then they at least get intel on how many mutas it actually is.
So Soma is sending out 2 Scourge. Try to connect one of the muta. Okay, does not connect. 1 Scourge does connect, but second one did not. But maybe if he's just taking up those HP away, then that would have been a great one. Yes, there is another one.
That's maximum damage right there. He gets 110 points of damage onto two different Mutalisks. So even though I think it's, I was going to say 5 versus 4, it is actually 5 versus 5, but 2 damaged Mutas on the side of Soulkey. That means that Soma should easily win any Mutalist fight. Now 6 in his favor. Can he save this one though? Lings into the main, but remember they don't have speed, so they're not able to close the gap that quickly. Scourge do not connect for either side, but Soma gets the better, or Soulkey gets the better shots right now so far.
Okay, let's see the battle here. I don't know how much of a muta still remaining, but near the even. But the Zergling went for the counterattack, taking down the Spire. And if Soulkey loses the Spire, then he won't be able to make more additional muta.
Oh my god, that Spire with the egg created a complete wall. The drones could not get out, and that means Soulkey's muta count, that's all he's gonna have. This is definitely not a recoverable situation like it was in the Queen game. He's just gonna have to all in here with just Lings and try and win. But Soma has more mutas to begin with, so I don't know how this could ever be the Soulkey victory.
Yeah, 4 muta, couple of Zerglings still out on the map for Soma. Soulkey is trying to go for counterattack with the number of units, whatever he has, but Soma is just gonna be the one, has to be defending. He does have 4 muta at the net. He needs to bring it.
He does have 4 versus 3, but it is 2 Scourge in there, and Scourge does not connect just yet.
Oh no.
And with Scourge popping out, this is probably the end. Yep, all the mutas die. That means that the Lings are just going to get cleaned up. GG comes out. And what an unfortunate situation, because the game state looked pretty decent for both sides, but once the Spire falls, obviously just a massive advantage for Soma.
The 1 second decision making I really loved here would be placing down the 1 second colony and sending all those Zergling for the backstab and taking down the Spire immediately. I mean, it's very hard to make that decision making when you have that Spartak having 1 minute or about maybe 30 seconds of delay compared to Soulkey's Spire. And how can you actually make that decision making?
I don't know, but Soma, he just knew that that was the right move, and he executed it perfectly. And now Soulkey's got to be really careful with his building placement, because if he does that again, we could see another execution of the Spire, and then it puts Soulkey essentially all in. So he's definitely going to have to be thinking about his Spire placement for next game. And next game is going to be Nemesis, I think, if I remember correctly. Yep, Nemesis. So a big map, 4-player map.
Yeah, Nemesis is one of the map where I feel like the air distance is really, really far. So maybe I'm going to be expecting both of the players who will be going for a macro playstyle. But quite not sure in terms of a main race Zerg player here. But let's get into the game soon. Here we go, Soma versus Soulkey on Nemesis.
So in the top right, it is Soma, and in the bottom left, our blue Zerg, it is Soulkey. So we have another cross-spawn situation. We could have another 12 hatch opener. We did see Soulkey opt for that on Vermeer. We do see that the Overlords are going horizontal. Of course, it being cross-spawn, it doesn't really matter what direction they go for. They're not going to find them first.
And we are taking a look at this cameraman showing to the audience NSU fans and Zealot rooting for Soulkey here. And something that I noticed was Overlord scout pattern. It's going counterclockwise. Oh, I think that is Conte 815. 815 is rooting for Soma here. Yeah, the counterclockwise scout. Normally, the Overlord scout pattern has to be go all the way to the natural, but they don't want to check out the natural. They just want to instantly scout all the way to the main base. And I think Soulkey's the one gonna go for 12 hatchery.
Yep, it does look like a 12 hatch opener from him. He still has the option for the 12 pool, or even the 13 pool that we saw Gameo pull out. And we have Soma going for a 9 pool speed. Now, I was wondering, oh, actually, this is the natural. For some reason, I thought that bottom middle was towards towards one of the mid bases, or the mid bases that are cut off by the eggs, but not the case. This is not blockchain. It's similar, but not exactly the same. So it is going to be the natural hatchery for Soulkey.
And now the Zerglings are on the way. Soma, will we go for there or will we go for Zergling speed? And like I said before, when I was playing the Pro League with Mini was giving me, or telling me, explaining about this 9-pool build. They don't do 9-pool lair tech anymore. They decided to do sending all the 6 Zergling vertical, horizontal way, and then if you don't find out the location immediately with the first scout, with the Zergling or the Overlord, then you wait. You wait until the Zergling speed completes and just shopping it at the same time, like how Queen was doing it in the first game there.
Yeah, we already saw that on the Vermeer map, and it worked pretty well. I mean, he did a ton of damage, killed like 3 or 4 drones, also killed a lot of lings, but this time around the Overlord spots the Zerglings. So Soulkey's gonna know exactly what's going on. Soma goes in completely to bottom right, but he's gonna pull up those 10 lings like you were talking about, and instantly puts down a sunken. So Soulkey realizes that he can't just hold it with lings, and Soma's not going in instantly. So this colony may actually complete. Or
I think Soma has given him so much of a time to recover, and now here are the Zergling speed completes and coming in, about to shove, but here are 5 drones. I'm not sure about that 5 drone glitch here, but one of the drone will fall. Second drone is about to fall off as well from the second. What if the Zergling sneak in? Oh, it glitched out!
They glitched out on the ramp. Now it was only 4, he still gets in 3, but this could have been a lot more than just 3 potentially. So Soulkey, he does defend. The Sunken ends up killing another Ling. You got to factor in that he did lose a drone to the building the Sunken. He did lose 1 drone at the natural, so he did lose 2 Lings, but for now, or 2 drones, but for now, this seems like a better position than he was versus Queen, and he almost came back in that game.
And if I'm trying to remember, I don't think Soulkey has lost much of a drone there. Maybe he only lost 1 and sacrificed 1 other drone for the Sunken Colony, but that's all he has been wasted. But how is Soma is going to be defending against this the macro hatch with the massive Zergen count coming?
Well, he's built 2 colonies, so that's 2 drones down the drain for Soma, and you remember he's only on 1 hatch, so every drone that he's losing here really hurts. The Lings are going to try and trade on the ramp, but he's not going to trade effectively. Okay, I don't think Lings can engage this, but seeing 2 Sunken colonies completed, Soulkey should be feeling fantastic. Look at that drone count. He's got like 15 drones.
Yeah, this game is so much better than one game where he played against Queen and losing so much of a drone to catch up. But now this time is different. Different situation, but same scenario. But now he's much more rich than that one game against Queen. And now this time Soma is completely short with his resource and on a supply block for some reason.
Despite having a low drone count, Soma's managed to get a decent amount of minerals, and he's going to put a hatchery at top middle. Okay, he is going to put a hatchery at top middle. Now, it's farther away, but it at least will be shielded from the Lings with the eggs for a while until it gets spotted. And if Soulkey never spots it, Soulkey may just think that this guy's all in. So this could be a cute move. Nicolas do find an Overlord, so that's going to die. But Spores going up in the main and natural. So Soma's really not going to be able to get much damage done with these mutas, at least on the drone lines.
Well, at least these 2 mutas are just getting up those Overlord, cutting up all those Overlord, but the number of a drone count is just so many for Soulkey for coming back for the late game potential. Even if Soma is able to catch up with the 2 gas at the island at the 12 o'clock, but if I try to remember, I think it's only 3,500 investment gas where you can mine from 12, 3, and 6, 12, 3, 6, and 9. So if the longer the game it goes, it's not going to be looking that pretty for Soma here, and now the Spartak is going up for Soulkey.
Yep, and good spore placement from Soulkey, and now he also clogs up the top side of the minerals, so there's absolutely no position that Soma can get any damage done, except for maybe trying to snipe the drones on the gas at the main, but he doesn't have enough to do that with just 2 mulas. So we are just going to wait and see both players power up for now. Double gas going, or nat gas going down for Soulkey, so he's going to catch up in the muta count quite quickly.
Yeah, more Spore Colony being placed down at the main and the natural for Soulkey. 3 Spore each, and Soma transferring a couple of drones to 12 o'clock to saturate there, but quite not sure how well Soma is going to be recovering, because he did invest those mineral for the 2 Sunken Colony in the early stage of the game before the hatchery. And now Soulkey is going to have some supply leads soon.
Yeah, and also Soulkey doesn't have to worry about backstabs because he's got the Sunken at the natural and he's got Spores in the main. So he doesn't necessarily have to turn around if he sees mutas going to either his main or natural. Got to keep that in mind. Lings are moving out from Soulkey right now, and he's going to put on some pressure since his Mutilus should be popping out in just a second.
That many Obserglings are now coming, but Soulkey is just going to be probably going to... Okay, maybe I thought he was going to be wasting those Zerglings to have that supply open for more muta. But I guess he does not want to waste it before those mutas are coming out, and maybe try to rotate like how Dashi was doing.
Yeah, that could be the case. And Soulkey did find out that there's no natural, which means that this guy definitely took a middle base. And there's... I'm guessing those are Scourge from Soulkey flying to the top side. He is going to find that base, and Soma's going to find that, hey, there's, Spores here, so Okay, actually he gets a drone kill. That's better than I thought. But that means that his Mutalisks are completely out of position. And he does not have an evolution chamber. Look where Soulkey's Mutas are headed. They're not trying to catch these Mutas. They're just going to go for a backstab. He's going to try and hit the main while all the Mutas are out of position.
And we can see Soulkey's supply count is having 8 supply lead, but I mean, not sure how exactly he really wants to do with that number of the Zergling, but the Mutalisks are trying to find some sweet spot for the backstab. He's trying to draw the attention all the way to the west.
Yeah, and he may actually do it because those Mutas are coming all the way back, and meanwhile Soulkey has like 5 Mutas and he instantly goes to the main. So we're going to have maybe base trade scenario because this is going to basically put Soma all in. He has nothing to defend. Absolutely nothing to defend these Mutas. And his Mutas are way out of position. There's 2 drones gone. 3, 4, 5. He's going to wipe the entire drone line. 7. Oh my god, this is devastating amount of damage.
That is tons of damage that Soma has been taking. Soma can't really go for the backstab, but now here's another 4 Muta. Just came with the Zergling. Okay, Muta needs to evacuate and split in half. Soma.
Well, if Soma didn't lose this drone line also, Soulkey did lose a lot of Mutalisks right there because they didn't engage at all. They just ran away. But it's still a 20, almost 20 supply lead for Soulkey right now. And as I stated, this puts Soma all in. He's got to do ridiculous damage to either the main or the natural, or kill all of the Mutalisks, which I think he could win a Mutalist fight right now since he has +1 armor.
Okay, here's the +1 armor with the 10 Mutalisks are coming, but now we can see Soulkey is immediately putting down additional Spore Colony and Creek Colony. Okay, there are 2 more Mutalisks just now came. Creek Colony is still not changing into Spore Colony. And the more Mutalisks just now came out. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. There's a lot of Mutas from the top side, and we're gonna have an even series on our hand. Soulkey gonna bring it back 1-1, and we're gonna be going into game 3.
That was a beautiful Mutalisk backstab and drawing the attention all the way to the bottom, baiting with the 3 Muta 2 Scourge, and Soma actually fell into it and lost tons of drone at the main, and now the score is tied up. And I wonder how well Soulkey is going to be playing against Soma in the 3rd game, because it is going to be best of 1 match of these 2 players. And the map is very familiar for all of the players for them. Sylphid.
Yeah, Sylphid, definitely well known by both players, but we could see somebody get the scout advantage. You know, somebody could get lucky and go the right direction, and that's obviously huge in ZVZ, but it all comes down to this. Soulkey's actually played really well, except for the, 1 Spire being out of position on Butter. I mean, that game was quite even until that moment happened. So let's see it. Can Soulkey do it? Move on to the Deciders match and eliminate Soma, or will Soma be moving on to try and face off versus Queen? And in the top position, going the right direction with the Overlord, that is Soma. And unfortunately for Soulkey fans, that Overlord is not going in the right direction.
And one thing that I would like to mention about this, the Neo Sylphid, 12 o'clock is just insanely good for Zerg. I mean, the way how drones are mining, it's much faster than the left and the right side, and they decided to change it for the Sylphid version 3 that they made for this ASL Season 14. And it did turn out to be somewhat even compared to the other location, but I still find the topside mineral for Zerg is just incredibly having a lot of advantage in the early stage of the game.
Well, I'll be looking at that mineral advantage for Soma. You can see there's moments where he's up something like 30 minerals, and we do see Overlord being built for Soulkey. So we're going to have another aggressive opener from Soma. It's going to be another 9 pool. And is this the overgas from Soulkey? Looks like it is.
if this is going to be over gas into 9 pull, then Soulkey is going to be winning the game. But if he has gone for the 10 pull, then that 10 pull and 9 pull has a huge difference when you're defending against the 9 pull Ling Rush. And I like how he has gone for overload gas into 9 pull here. So now this is going to be turning out to be Soulkey, who's going to be having the lair attack plus the metabolic boost at the same time really fast.
Well, this seems like a great opener for Soulkey. Then we're going to have the speed first, as most likely, since you were talking about it earlier. And Overlord's going to come in and see that there's no hatchery, but there is an Overlord moving. So he knows that this was either like an overpool or a 12 pool or something along those lines. And in Soma's main, I assume it's speed, but okay, yeah, it is speed again from him. Instant lair, just absolutely instant lair, and he also has the minerals for speed in just a second too. I don't know speed just yet.
Well, I think he just wants to balance out the mineral a little bit more there. So pretty much he wanted to delay the Zergling speed for more Zergling production with a non-stop Zergling production in order to defend. And I think Soma is baiting. Hey, I'm not 9 pull. Come out. But Soulkey does not want to fall into that bait. He's sending out only 2 Zerglings to scout to figure out what exactly is happening.
Well, even 2 Lings may be all Soma needs, because he's got... let's assume he kills these 2 Lings. There would be 8 versus just 6 right now, with 2 more coming out, and he has speed advantage. But Soulkey does have the arc advantage. Now, this is very, very clever from Soma to just say, like, hey, I only have 2 Lings. But now he shows speed. Oh, the Lings are not in position. That could have been devastating. But we're going to have a micro battle at this choke point.
Okay, that Ling arc seems a little bit better for Soma. Okay, now that is going to be better for Soulkey to defend.
Oh, that was such a clutch reposition from Soulkey. Ends up holding, and he saves a couple of the Lings that are heavily damaged. Spire's going down for Soma, but Spire's also going down for Soulkey. And Soulkey, I think, has more Lings. I think he has more drones. And he has that 100 additional gas that you can see.
And that gas difference, what we are seeing, that is going to be a huge leap for Soulkey. Soulkey is just pretty much squeezing all of his larvae for more Zergling production, and now he's supply block with the 1717. That means he does have more Zergling. Oh, look at that. I guess that 100 investment gas difference, it would be Soulkey did not get the metabolic boost.
And he didn't get speed, so that's the only gas, or the only big difference really right now. But also another subtle difference here is it's 8 drones mining minerals for Soma versus just 7 for Soulkey. So longer game goes, more mineral resources obviously Soma's going to have. Potentially he can put down his natural faster, but that single muta could be the difference maker. Even just one muta can be game changing in ZVZ. And there goes Soulkey. Actually, he's going to be the first one to put down his nat.
I guess Soulkey got the metabolic boost after the Spartech was being placed down, and that's quite interesting to see. And we are seeing Soma does have that 2 more overloads just popped out from the main base, so 33 supply open versus 25 supply open, and Soulkey needs to be very careful.
The first 2 mutas are out for Soulkey. We do have 3 mutas coming out for Soma in just a second. A single Ling almost kills this drone. Can he get the finishing blow? No, just barely. Soma's going to save it. The Ling is going to come into the main and draw the attention of Soma up there. Overlord may actually get picked off. I think that's only 2 mutas, so they can't fight this.
Mutalist 3 versus 3, and both of the supply count is 23-25. Not a huge difference, but we are seeing Soma made 1 Scourge, 1 couple of Scourge. Okay, Soulkey as well. That's interesting.
Even mutas, even Scourge. We've got a Sunken going in the main, so I guess he's accepted that Lings may actually just get into his base at any point. There's no evolution chamber, so it can't be a spore.
I'm trying to understand why Soma constantly making the creep colony and canceling it. when he's not even a supply block, wasting that about 37 mineral for no, it's probably less than a 37, but losing that resource for building a building and then canceling it. And now Soulkey is catching up with the supply count, 33 versus 24. That's huge.
Yeah, this is a huge lead for Soulkey. I mean, he's basically up 25% in supply. And the big issue I'm seeing for Soma is he's got 4 mutas and 4 Scourge, whereas Soulkey has majority Mutalist. And at pro level play, I mean, Scourge just don't connect unless it's a massive, huge air battle where it's just impossible to microverses. I feel like Soulkey's just going to run him over right now. I think it's at least 7 mutas for Soulkey versus just 4. Let's see if he can get the damage done. Scourge do not connect. Lings are not getting into the main for Soulkey just yet.
No.
But it's just so many. This is it. It's over.
Huge victory for Soulkey, and Soma is getting eliminated.
That is not what you would be expecting at all, because Soma's just such a monster. But Soulkey, in his worst matchup, he takes down Soma 2-1. He had a really close game versus Queen, and he's looking fantastic so far today.
Yeah, Soma, I guess he seems very confident with his 9-pool opening, but 9-pool speed in that game scenario on 3-player map, Neo Sylphid, when everyone is familiar with it and 9-pool speed is not that useful. Quite not sure, but the mind game, just having some huge advantage for Soulkey there with the overgas into 9-pool. And we can see Soulkey's victory picture there. First time we get to see.
Yeah. And now he's going to get a rematch versus Queen, and he should be feeling really confident taking down probably the Zerg favorite of the group, Soma. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with that matchup. It's going to be the final matchup of the day. Winner's going to be moving on into the round of 8. And it is time for our final series of the day. It's going to be a repeat of what we saw earlier. Soulkey versus Queen. This time around, it's a best of 3. Even though Soulkey fell there in the first game, I think he's got a good shot versus Queen because he recovered from a real deficit.
And yeah, this is going to be the revenge battle for Soulkey. And now Soulkey, I feel like this is something disadvantage side for Soulkey because he has shown off his playstyle against Soma earlier, and now Queen has been watching that best of 3, all those 3 games in each map. So Queen knows how Soulkey exactly wants to play, or maybe Soulkey needs to change his thought and maybe just do something random build, and whatever comes to his mind, he needs to choose it. And it looks like players are ready. We're gonna be going into this last game of today, Queen versus Soulkey on Nemesis.
And in the top right, in the gray, it is Queen. And in the top left, it is Soulkey. Now, it is just so interesting to see the scout patterns. It's so subtle, but remember the Nemesis game. We talked about how both players scouted horizontally, yet here we are again, and this time both players are scouting vertically.
Yeah, players are just, I feel like they didn't really choose what exactly how they want to play. Maybe whatever it just comes into their mind, then they just choose and just go for it. I mean, practice and choosing the build does matter, but for Soulkey, he has already shown too much build, too much strategy against Soma. So Soma probably just wants to either do the same build or maybe change his thought and do something else.
We've got a mix-up this time around. Soulkey, who's been the one playing the hatch first or the overgas last game, he's going to be the aggressor. He's going for the 9 pool, probably going to put down the gas. There it is. So he's going to be the one going for 9 pool speed. And with it being horizontal spawns, rush distances are going to be quite close. And this time around, I thought it was going to be a 12 hatch, but instead it's going to be 11 pool.
Yeah, I mean, it's so amazing how well Queen is just taking the advantage against Soulkey all the time. I mean, 9 pool against 12 hatchery, and of course Soulkey somehow he managed to hold off, but he just took so much of damage because of 9 pool speed link. But if Soulkey is choosing the aggressive build, then Queen is just doing the right counter all the time with the build order wise.
Yeah, this just feels like another deficit that Soulkey's going to have to overcome. He's going to go for fast speed also. And, I mean, with the 11 pool, you would imagine that Queen should be able to hold this. There is going to be, maybe 30-second window where Soulkey's going to have speed advantage, but this is going to be a massive larva advantage for Queen. Now, something to consider is, you got to remember, Nemesis, you're on the low ground. So if there is ever a moment where Soulkey can get on top of the ramp, he's going to trade amazingly. So Queen does need to be careful to not let that happen.
Yeah, both of the players will be spotting the Zergling, and Soulkey needs to be very careful. I mean, the Zergling arc doesn't seem that pretty for Soulkey, and now Queen is holding off. The metabolic boost should be completed in next 2 seconds. And now here it is. 3, 2, 1, and still never mind. It's not finished yet, but I guess it's just gonna be waiting until more Zerglings should become.
Well, Queen knows the position he's in, so he's already pulled 3 drones defensively to help support these Zerglings. And here comes Soulkey. He's gonna try and make something happen here, but the hatch is almost done. The drones are already here. Larva is gonna be instantly used for Lings. But he is dealing a lot of damage to the hatch. Now we've got the Ling dance. That hatch is below health now.
That 5 Zerglings are doing significant amount of great damage. I mean, the Zergling arc seems so much better for the green color and Queen. is gonna be holding it.
I don't know. This seems like a good trade for Soulkey. He's got 2 more Lings coming in. He actually overwhelmingly wins that fight. There's 5 Lings versus just 1. He knocks down a drone. Okay, that was actually a Queen Zergling right there, but this was a really good trade for Soulkey. I think he forced out a lot of Lings, obviously killed a drone, and Queen's now on the back foot. Well, he was on the back foot, but now he's going to put on the gas because he's got 9 Lings versus just 3.
And now Soulkey is setting up the Zergling line. And Queen is slowly trying to look for those, any of the Zergling are hiding. There are 3 Zerglings are hiding at the bottom right side, but I don't think Queen has spotted yet, but he will be leaving a couple more Zerglings at the net. But okay, if those Zerglings leaves, then it's going to be a dangerous moment.
And we've got 5v5 under the ramp, but it's a favorable trade for Soulkey. There was a moment that there's a gap on the left side, but not able to exploit it. However, those Lings got cleaned up, and this is a lot of Lings coming in for Queen. He's got something like 10 versus 7 right now. He could bust down. Oh, he goes for it.
Yeah, that is so much of a Zergling. Now he's coming. Sunken Colony is just now complete at a great time. 1 Zergling will fall.
Yeah, perfect timing on the sunken in. This time around, you can see that that spire is tucked away. There's no way that that's going to get knocked down by Lings. Evolution Chamber just now starting for Queen, so there's no colonies or no spores anytime soon. I didn't even see a single colony come down just yet. So if 2 mutas instantly go across the map, he may be able to actually rack up some drone kills. He's got the Lings and sunken to support, so I feel like he doesn't need these to help defend the Lings. But I guess he's got other ideas.
Yeah, that 7 Zerglings will be just retreating back home. But I still don't see Lair Tech on the way. I guess Queen is just going to be heavily droning up and saturating each location and putting down the spore colony. But we are seeing Soulkey is not mining any of the Vespene gas because he wants to focus on getting more income with the mineral resource and then put down more hatchery.
Yeah, so this is a reverse situation of the game on Vermeer. It's now Soulkey in control with the mutas, and he's going to try and power behind it, whereas Queen's the one putting up Evolution Chamber and Spores everywhere, and he's going to try and power behind this.
Yeah, Lair Tech was going up for Queen at the natural because the natural hatchery was the about 30%, 40% HP remaining, and you want to save that hatchery as much as possible.
We do not see Soulkey going for like all in here where he would combo Lings with mutas and try and, you know, sneak Lings into the main. He is just going to macro out of this. You know, it's nice to see finally that we've gotten to the point in ZVZ where we see more macro games. This is like, I don't know, maybe the 7th ZVZ we've seen all season, and I would say at least half of them have gotten to this point in the game where we're actually getting into big macro stages. You know, the game isn't just sitting on 30 supply, but I take that back. Actually, Soulkey is disguising this. He's built a lot of Lings behind it, and he is going to try and sneak these Lings and overrun the natural and potentially get in the main. But he spots it.
Yeah, Queen sees it, and now Queen needs to make a right decision. Now he's going to be pulling the drone because he really needs to finish that Creek colony for the sunken colony. And now the drone drill needs to buy some time. The Zergling arc seems much more better for green color, but Zerglings are doing some work. Will he be able to hold? The answer is no.
No, and Lings may be able to sneak in. The Spire's not done just yet, so he must hold this position. Oh, he's gonna just focus down the sunken. That could be a big mistake because drones drill on top of this and limit the amount of damage, but Soulkey with reinforcing Lings behind it, he has 8 left over. 9, 10 left over. He's gonna pop these Lings as soon as they get out, but Queen's still doing a good job to just prevent stuff from getting in the main, but I think actually Soulkey has done it.
Yeah, that number of Zergling is just so many, and the Spore Colony is just making that glitch for the Drone Drill, and Drone Drill is not doing really well. The Zergling flood once again coming. 2 Muta are doing the buttering the bread on those drone, and Spire is exposed.
Oh no! Just like in the butter game, the Spire's exposed. It will get, or could have been exterminated, but Queen taps out before that happens in Soulkey. He's now up 1-0.
Yeah, absolutely great play of Soulkey, how he wanted to go for the... I mean, we have seen all this 9 pool layer build into a 3 hatchery macro playstyle, but Soulkey showed us that he can actually go for no gas. Hey, I'm gonna show 3 Mira, block my ramp, and just saved up all those mineral and larvae for more Zergling production, and then just go for the counterattack.
Yeah, and that's what ZVZ looked like, you know, even just a couple years back, is people force you to try and defend this Ling all-in with just Lings, you know, in the spores, and it's so hard to defend. And Soulkey gets a victory there, and now he's 1 game away from moving on. Our next map, again, it's going to be Odyssey. This is the 2nd time we've seen this today. And I'm just now realizing that actually both players did not ban Arkanoid. We had an Allegro and Butter ban.
That is funny. Yeah, that is quite funny how both the players did not ban the Arkanoid. But we are going to go into the 2nd game of this best of 3. That is going to be played on Odyssey. Queen versus Soulkey.
Okay, in the top right, he needs your energy, because if he loses here, he's out. It's Queen. And in the bottom left, 1 game away from finally taking down Queen in the ASL, it's Soulkey.
Try to remember how exactly it was played in the map Optimizer. I'm trying to remember because of the main base has 2 Vespene Geyser where you can mine in. There's absolutely no reason for either of the players to get the natural. And I heard if you're getting the natural expansion, and if you're playing against someone who's playing like a 1 base playstyle, like a 1 hatch Muta, then you're the one who's going to be playing the defensive playstyle in the early stages of the game with the Spore Colony. But you can see the natural Spore Colony, even if you put down the Spore Colony near the mineral line, you cannot actually defend easily.
Really? I didn't know that. I mean, it looked like this would be a good map for Spore Colony placement or turret placement, but sounds like that could be an issue if we have either player go into Spores. And we're going to have an overgas from Soulkey, and we are waiting to see whether this will be pool first or hatch first from Queen. Remember, he did go 11 pool previous game, and I think this is going to be hatch first this time. Now, you flat out said overgas versus the 9 pool on Sylphid. That was a complete win for Soulkey. But how does this face off versus 12 hatch?
Well, if you are going for overlord into gas and then spawning pool, then I heard this is another build order win for Queen here, because that late spawning pool after the gas that he has gotten is not going to be doing that much of a huge damage in the early stage of the game, and we can see the spawning pool difference is not that huge also, and we can see Soulkey only has 2 remaining larvae for 4 Zergling maximum, and that's all he can invest.
Well, we have instant lair, and I'm curious if we're going to have another skip of speed. We did have that on the Sylphid game for a long time. So far, no 100. Okay, he does spin the 100 gas now, so he does rush speed much faster this time in comparison.
Yeah, the spawning pool is just going to be finished on time for Queen, and we can see Queen is just going to be having a better opening compared to the last game, because this is not going to be the Zergling speed. It's not as same as the 9 pool speed lane. So the Zergling right now, Soulkey with the 4 Zergling all the way across the bottom side, that will not do much of a huge damage, but maybe he's just gonna be pretending that he's just doing the classic Overlord gas into a macro playstyle, placing down the 2nd hatchery at the main base and just droning out heavily. And if Queen actually falls into that bait and moves out all the Zergling, that 4 Zergling will go for the backstab.
Yeah, because Optimizer, I remember a lot of players putting the hatchery down in the main, so this could definitely be what Soulkey's hoping for. Queen's Lings are a little far forward. He could definitely move them out. Spire is going down in the main for Soulkey, and actually Soulkey is moving out with a lot of Lings right now. He's going to show the 4 in the natural right now.
I love this mind game. I mean, he has been hiding those Zergling and not showing the metabolic boost as much as possible, and pretty much bluffed him that, hey, I'm droning up and getting that second hatchery ASAP. But that kind of bait Queen a little there, that he was droning up heavily. But those drones are doing some great work, but will he be able to survive?
Those drones got off a lot of hits, and I don't think I saw a single drone die there. So I think Queen can hold it. Okay, now he loses a drone, and actually it's what? Oh, he loses 2 drones. It was 5 versus 3 Lings. So Soulkey needs to back up now. He did a decent amount of damage, and again, we're getting into a scenario where it's going to be fast Mutilis versus Evolution Chamber and Spores to hold. And you're talking about how Spores aren't great on this map.
Yeah, the
Or at the
Spire
natural, I mean.
Yeah, the Spire is already being completed. Queen is now... I mean, he couldn't even put down the Spire. He wasn't able to put down the Spire because he was droning up so heavily that is just going to be forcing Queen to place down the Spore Evolution Chamber for Spore, but there's no Evolution Chamber yet.
Yeah, but he put down 2 Sunkens for this. That's a big investment. And this 5-Ling counterattack did, I think, kill 2 drones. That's a big win for him. But Queen, did he take enough damage there? The Evolution Chamber's not done. Spore's not even started just yet. But they build pretty quickly. So I think he should be able to hold this Muta attack.
Yeah, that 2 Creek Colony right now, Queen is trying to get. Oh. But the 2 Muta are here, pushing those Zergling away. But I think Red Collar still has more of a Zergling count. But Mutalists are doing this, buttering the bread on those red Zergling.
Wow, that was dangerously close. That game could have ended if those drones were not put off. This is a lot of Mutas and a lot of Lings. This is going to be 5 Mutas with still a decent amount of Lings. I realize it's only 6, but you don't really need much Lings to get into a mineral line to deal a lot of damage. Now behind this, because he built 2 Sunkens, that's a lot of lost minerals for Soulkey. He's also not mining with an additional drone, so he can't even afford putting down a hatchery. So he is kind of all in here. He's got to make something happen. Oh, he knows the Lings are out of position. Well, cut off the Lings. This is his moment.
Well, those Zerglings are just going all the way across, but there are 2 sunken colonies the main base. Yeah, these Zerglings are just gonna be doing a great job taking down the one of the support colony for Zergling. Now they need to survive.
Oh, Queen was not expecting it to be double sunken, and this could be it. Soulkey, he's gonna knock down the Evolution Chamber. So that means once he eliminates this bottom Spore, that's it. That hatchery is 100% dead. He can't build another Spore. Instead, the Lings move into the main. The Mutas are going to make sure no Lings right now.
God.
Oh, he's going to find an opening at the main, but is this a mistake? There's still a Spore in the main. Oh, the Spire's open. He's going to knock that down. It's not even close to completing.
Yeah, that seems definitely over for Queen. I mean, Queen is trying to go for the backstab with the number of Zergling, but I'm not sure. I mean, there's still decent amount of Muta count and worker. Look at that. 1 Muta is sitting. Nice amount of drone count for Soulkey at the main. And the counterattack will not work out well, in my opinion.
The Spore's just barely out of range. He snipes a drone, and he's going to kill the Spore again. That means this is an open main.
Yeah, I guess
he just needs to focus it down.
Yeah, he's just going to be focusing down the Spore colony because the number of Muta count is large enough to take it down. One last creep is remaining, but 100 HP, 300 HP, 200 HP remaining, 190. Okay, yes, Queen is desperate to defend the main, but at the same time going for the counterattack. Soulkey is just easily going to defend.
Oh, Soulkey, he's finally done it. He should eliminate Queen from this tournament. He's so close. He can taste it. Queen desperately trying to get up Spores, but the DPS of these 4 Mutalists is just barely enough before they complete.
Yeah, that...
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, those 2 Spore colony somehow managed to survive, but how really gonna be mining at his main base?
Yeah, he still doesn't have a Spire. So he still, like, he can only rely on these 2 spores. Now it's 7 Mutalisks. Those are dangerously low, but he has 2 or 3 more moving out across the map with these. So it will be 9 or so Mutas versus just 1 Spore. That's easily enough to knock it down unless this Spore has Heat Seeker missiles to try to knock down those 2 that are very low.
Yeah, 8 Muta is just gonna be taking down the Spore Colony instantly. And 7 Muta remaining. Spore Colony will fall. Queen knows he cannot win this game anymore. Taps out. Soulkey is going to win that decider match.
What amazing play from Soulkey today. And finally he can take down his nemesis Queen, who talks smack about him every single season, especially his ZVZ. I'm so happy that Soulkey makes it out. I'm a big Queen fan, but finally we get to see Soulkey take him down, and he's just got to be feeling great about that victory.
Yeah, he seems very upset with this mouth. It's just like Artosis. It just reminds me of the Artosis mouth. But yeah, that was unfortunate for Queen's ASL journey. And Soulkey is going to be advancing into round of 8, and we'll be going into the winner's interview soon.
Yeah, and remember the Snow interview. He said he wanted to face off versus Light or a Zerg. I was looking at the brackets, how it would unfold. So far, 2 out of the 3 second place finishes are Zerg. The only other one is Rush in second place. And tomorrow we have 2 Zergs in Group D. So there's a real chance that Snow might get what he wants, which is another PBZ opponent. And I would love to see it because he played out of his mind along with Soulkey today.
And they are the NSU fan. Zealot, and I think that might be Soulkey's girlfriend rooting for him. And we are going to the winner's interview. ASL Season 14 Round of 16 Group C. And that was the last game of this today's game. And the second player will be advancing into round of 8. That will be Soulkey. Congratulations. And you took down Queen in the decider match.
아무래도 김명훈 선수의 최종 선택을 통해서도 16강 C조에
And how do you
때문에
feel? And you are having, there's a couple, there's some stories between you guys, Queen and Soulkey. There's lots of meaning for you.
솔직히
How do you feel?
패자전에서 일단 그러니까 승자전을 보고 있었는데
So Soulkey,
네.
아 이거 큰일 났네. 근데
so Soulkey is saying something about,
저번 시즌이 생각이 나더라고요.
he's thinking about the previous season.
제동이 형이 최동전에 오면서 제가 이기고 올라갔거든요.
So he's talking about the previous season where he met JD in the decider match and eliminated him and made it into round of 8. And he was pretty sure that when Queen got eliminated in the, when Queen got knocked out by Snow in the winner's match, he's probably waiting for Soulkey to come up because Queen's pretty much having that the pride and strong ego will be taking down Soulkey. So Soulkey wanted to try to think about, and he was also worried about playing as Queen.
약간 좀 편한 마음으로 보셨을 텐데.
But he
갑자기 이렇게 이겨버리니까 저도 그렇고 팬분들도 그렇고 다 너무 기쁠 것 같아요.
He's kind of somewhat happy that he actually made it into round of 8 and surviving of this ZVZ matchup.
그런 부분에서 약간 김명훈 선수가 우위에 있지
And
않나라는
in the pre-interview, you were saying Queen is top of your head. He knows what you're doing and whatever you were doing. But you showed us you improved and you took him down 2-0.
그래서 최종전이 조금은 더 두렵게 느껴지지 않으셨나요?
So maybe that could be the one of the reason why you might have some more pressure to play against Queen because Queen has better. He plays better than you, and in terms of record, ASL record. So Soulkey is saying that he just cleared his thought, just played comfortably, and just things just worked out well for him. And with some luck, there are some mistakes that he made, but he's very happy that he made it into round of 8.
박상현 선수의 3세트도 그렇고 김명훈 선수의 경기도 그렇고 성가스 운영을 오늘 좀 보여주셨어요.
You showed us over gas build against Soma in the third game, and also the second game against Queen also in the final match. And Soulkey is saying about the over gas. he wasn't really thinking about it, but it just worked out well against Soma, so he kind of wanted to do it again. And it's his strongest build in ZVZ, so he kept pulling out. It worked out well for him, so he's really happy how the result became. It was kind of like a destiny for you that you made it into round of 8 with that overgas build. And there are some chance that you will be meeting up against Bisu. Yeah, Bisu and Light are waiting. Bisu and Light are waiting. How do you feel? So Soulkey is saying he does have some confidence in ZVZ, but he didn't really show that much of a ZVZ performance well in the ASL stage. But he would like to challenge more. Any last word to your fans and audience? He wants to say thanks to you, Namsun, NSU, the chairman. Oh, so that was the two people who were rooting for NSU, Soulkey. That was the financial supporter for the girl. She's a big streamer, and Zealot is here too, and rooting for Soulkey. And thank you for coming by and rooting for me. And we'll see you once again for the next week. And congratulations on making it around the face, Soulkey.
Yep, well done by him. We get a rundown of the matches. Snow taking down Soma, Queen beating Soulkey, then Snow winning 2-1 over Queen, Soulkey winning 2-1 over Soma, and then Soulkey getting revenge over Queen. And I would say this is pretty much how I wanted the group to go, because this gives us racial balance. There's 2 Terrans, 2 Zergs, and 2 Protosses in the round of 8. And tomorrow, we've got the opportunity to have, I guess, Zerg take the league because they've got 2 there, and then they've got 1 Terran left and 1 Protoss left. It's Mini, Hero, Action, and Royal. So Group C and Group B were really stacked, and now I feel like Group D is even more stacked. You can, as I stated before, these are the players: Light, Bisu, Snow, Shine, Rush, and Soulkey, and we're just waiting for first and second out of Group D.
Yeah, so we are taking a look at this round of 8. It's written that tomorrow, September 7th, on Wednesday, after the round of 16 Group D is completed, then the MC Lee Hyun-kyung will be pulling out those the lottery draw, and making the round of 8. And yeah, we are taking a look at the tomorrow's matchup. That is going to be round of 16 Group D, the last day of the round of 16. Action, Royal, Hero, and Mini.
Yeah, Group C was a death group, but Group D, I feel like it could be even stronger. Royal, in the team league, he all killed. Hero always goes far in ASL. Mini always goes far in ASL. And Action, I feel like he can go far in ASL, but he just never puts on the showing that's expected, or at least I have the expectations I have for him in the ASL. Last season he had those wild games versus Light. He never really played to his strengths, which is big macro. So I'm hoping we see big macro games from him tomorrow.
I'm kinda wonder how well Action is going to be playing against Mini, because Mini is one of the Protoss who's really insanely good at PvZ, and Action's Zerg versus Protoss matchup is just, he just plays whatever he wants. He's just so stylish, and I wonder how Mini actually does against Action. I'm excited to see how those 2 match.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can get that. We may not, because Action versus Royal is first, and there could be a scenario where we never see that unfold. I want to see Hero versus Royal, because Hero's, as I've stated numerous times, one of the few players that goes Hydra Lurker to Filer, which I find to be the absolute hardest comp to deal with as Terran. And I know a lot of Terran players still play Bio. I see more mech play, but they still play Bio. And if we do get a Bio game versus Hydra Lurker to Filer, I want to see how Royal deals with that.
Yeah, Royal's the type of player who's playing really stylish. Like, he does often go for something like a proxy AREX into 1-1-1, or completely bio playstyle, But the thing is, one thing that I noticed, Royal really likes to go for eBay, super fast eBay in early stage of the game, and then +1 4x against the 2-hatch meta. But I noticed, whenever Zerg catches that, the purpose of what Terran really wants to do in the early stage of the game, then Zerg instantly just puts down the 4th hatchery and just heavily doing the macro playstyle. And I wonder if he's gonna be playing something classic playstyle or do something else for Royal.
Well, we did see Light play similar, right? He played 3 racks as a follow-up to the eBay, so definitely Royal could be doing something similar as you stated, and maybe we will see that 4-hatch from Hero or Action tomorrow. I think we're about to wrap up. We're waiting for the signal from Caster Park, but thank you guys so much for watching today. Remember, Group D is going to be tomorrow, same time, same place, and again, it's another group of death. So that should be a fun group. You definitely don't want to miss it, and it's a balanced group. Like we've got races, we've got all 3 races. Not like today where there's 3 Zergs and 1 Protoss. You're definitely going to want to check that one out.
I'm also curious how well Hero will be performing against Mini, because Mini is absolutely beast in terms of PvZ, but also Hero is the type of player who likes massive drone in early stage of the game and heavily working on the economy lead, placing down lots of hatchery for the macro hatch. Well, it looks like they're done wrapping it up.
Yep, so again, thank you so much for watching, and me and Scan will see you tomorrow.